You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
James.
James! Hey, dude.
Hello.
Hey. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to our Westworld Season 1, Episode 9, shot-by-shot recap. What's this episode called?
I'm going to say this wrong, but it looks like the Well-Tempered Clavier, if you take the French interpretation of it, or Clavier, if you want to go the phonetics.
I'm going to go with German and call it Clavier. So there we go. Wow, what a crazy episode. A whole bunch of shit got confirmed.
Yeah.
We saw a whole bunch of crazy stuff go down. A lot of violence, a lot of stabbing, a lot of shooting, a lot of pew, 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 ow, ow, ow. So this was a pretty good one. James, yeah?
Yeah, it posed a little bit more questions, but it answered so much.
Yeah, it didn't give us all the answers to the tests, but it certainly is going to help us all get B minuses. B pluses, really. All right, so anyway, guys, spoilers. We got a million shots to get through. We're going to get through them all. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait. James, you excited?
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Right where I want you. Let's go. Here we go. All right, so first opening shot is Maeve. Now, guys, as you'll remember, she... when we last saw her, was running away from a whole bunch of commotion that she caused in town, in Sweetwater, after she cut New Clementine's neck and killed her. You'll see that she's bloody and stuff. So what happened, it didn't seem to be part of her plan.
No, it wasn't intentional. She did it in the midst of having one of her flashbacks to the Man in Black when he was basically killing her and her child. Yeah,
right. So then she reacted by slicing New Clementine's neck. In the flashback, she was cutting the Man in Black's neck. Anyway, we didn't know where she'd end up. If she'd escape into the park and be hiding in some hole or some, become one of the ghost Indians or something.
And we postulated that it was going to possibly be the end of Maeve in the last episode until they said that Behavior wants to talk to you.
Right.
And we know that the people in charge of Behavior is Ford and Bernard. So if there's anyone who's not going to necessarily decommission her, it's going to be them.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. But it's already a reveal that she got captured and taken in. And so now she's in Behavior with Bernard, our favorite guy. Everybody loves Bernard. So he's just like kind of investigating what the heck's going on with her because she was acting all crazy. I mean, to her, she is very much, they should be looking at it. It's their job.
Yeah,
I mean, like she's beyond any other kind of behavioral anomaly than others.
Bernard calls it a very serious, unscripted incident.
Oh, yeah.
To put it lightly.
It sounds like it's a good description about anybody's life. I want to put that on my grave. I just had a very serious, unscripted incident, and it's finally fucking over. So he's kind of asking her, he tells her to go into analysis mode. There is one shot, which it was a real quick flicker. I think it was right around here as he was sitting. Let me back up a couple. Like right here, I think. She glanced at him. She's like her eyes moved. So she's not supposed to be doing this. So she's in full control.
Yeah, she's pretending to be in diagnostics, and she's answering as though the way she would expect him to think that she would answer if she was in diagnostics.
Exactly. So yeah, it is weird. And so she's just sort of giving him, telling him what she thinks he wants to hear, kind of like I forget exactly what she said, but she detected a threat because she thought she was defending newcomers from New Clementine.
Yes, she tries to weave it as though that New Clementine was approaching newcomers with a threat in mind, and he counters that. He's saying, yeah, okay, I see that you perceived a threat based on looking at your statistics and your analysis data, but it also showed that you had a lot of suffering and grief in your emotions. And what's the context for that? Can you explain that?
Yeah. But as he's looking at his little iPad, he spots all these, let's see everything here modified. So he sees all her stats, this is what Felix and Sylvester helped her do, upgrade. She's got everything pretty much, not everything, but empathy's really low, loyalty's low, which makes sense. But all this other stuff, max. This is the intelligence one in the center. That's the Abercrombie and Fitch, bumpkin or whatever the fuck word that. Something but yeah, wow, I wish I could see what these were. I mean, candor, vivacity, curiosity, but everything is modified. So he's like, what the hell?
Yeah, how did she grind that much XP so quickly?
Yeah, how did you spend so many experience points? So he's alarmed though. He sees this and it's like, oh shit, this is not. And he's like, oh man, what? He goes, what happened? Who did this to you? What's going on here?
Yeah, he says it's impossible. He starts calling for Ford because he needs to inform him right away.
Yeah, this is like, for sure. So there you go. That's just interesting. All this other stuff. Emotional acuity, sociopathy, egocentrism, timidity. I have all of those, James. I even have brazenness. Take that. All right, so he's just clearly like, really this is his job. He's just like, what the hell? And she actually refuses to answer a question at one point, and then finally I think she kind of realizes she's out of options.
Yeah, it's when he asks her to put her grief and suffering into context, she says no.
Yeah, she goes no,
as though she's unable to do so or unwilling to do so.
Right. Right. So she then just goes straight into I'm badass Maeve mode. She grabs his arm and she kind of like gets his attention, and he's like, what the fuck, shit. And so she tells him like, basically, you're one of me. Like, don't you want to know who we are?
Yeah, she prevents him from contacting Ford because she knows that even though he's on Ford's team, Ford is suppressing him and controlling him. He's controlling his puppet strings, if you will.
Yeah. But she immediately just weaves, because she's got this newfound power to influence with her speech and with suggestion and talk, which as we talked about in the last review, I would say, maybe you can correct me or agree, that it's the bicameral mind used as a tool.
Exactly.
As an instrument for control, which is previously, until she got her powers, only been available to Dr. Ford, it seemed.
Right.
And but because he's kind of like he kind of like listens to her. He sort of takes it in because she's got influence on him. And then it kind of, well, I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Well, he's unaware that he's a host at this point. That part of his understanding has been wiped or suppressed by Ford, so she tries to reawaken that.
Yeah. Successfully tries, though. She freezes him. Yeah, this is him frozen. Yeah, he locks right up. It's hard with the screenshots to tell when it's the freeze.
Yeah.
Because they're all frozen in the screenshots. So, yeah, so she wakes him up, and then she goes up, and she basically just gives him the order that you're going to put me back into the park. Right,
but she also tells him that she's going to keep him the way he is. She said, I'm not going to wipe your memory of this. I'm going to let you know what happened here. I could force you to do what I want you to do, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I think she says the same thing to another character later on. But she basically says, I'm not going to do that to you because that's what they would do to you.
Yeah. She's essentially saying, there's a new kid in town, and it's Maeve, which is long for me. No, I don't know what it means. Yeah, so she sits right back down, and she lets him, she sort of gives him the command to, like, wake up and get back to work. And poor Bernard, Jeffrey Wright's good at doing the acting where it's like, you're confused, you're just like, what the fuck? Like when you're at Starbucks and somebody stands in front of the drink thing, or in front of the coffee, the creamer, and they're not even doing anything. You're like, what the fuck's wrong with you people?
Or when someone picks up your drink when you know it's clearly yours, and you just want to smack it out of their hand, but you realize you can't because it's your drink, and you're hurting yourself in the process.
And then you have to say, excuse me, sir, that is my tall glass of pink lemonade powder. So diagnostic. So yeah, so this is this thing, return to service.
Yeah. So she basically forces his hand without physically or programmingly forces his hand. That's a new word, by the way.
The way you said li there, it was kind of melodic. But check this out. Sensuality, James, me. Charm, James, that's me. Humor, James, that's both of us. Not that you're not charming. Perception, I can't see. Tuition, nah, never paid tuition. Fuck that shit. All right, so he gets her going. Boom, return to service, recall host. I do like, though, that they use these, which, like, almost like choose your own adventure storyline things, as if it's really this simple of like, well, which way is the plot gonna go? He has two choices here.
I mean, you got to do it. You got to show. I mean, they said it before, show, don't tell.
Yeah, and it's not poorly done. It's actually done quite well. But
in the context of what they're trying to do for a television show, it makes sense.
Yeah. But in a real, well, who knows? This is the future or the past. Who the hell knows? But no, it's the future. It's the future. I think I might be a host.
I mean, you could just open her back and it'd be like a series of abacuses sliding back and forth.
A bunch of weird wooden levers and stuff. So yeah, he does it. He follows his orders, and she is returned to the park. She's not going to be in trouble, although she probably does need to wash off new Clementine's blood off her neck. Yep. That's pretty much it for that scene, right? Yes. Oh, but Bernard, though, is kind of, because she's activated a new awareness in him.
Yeah, he now knows who he is, what he is, and he's walking through, which is basically a cemetery or a mortuary of people like him, or
he's
creations
stressing,
like him.
And he's thinking, oh, I'm surrounded by naked white people. Oh my God, no! It's also my worst fear. Look at this guy. There's like a bench or stool or something from him. He's not just looking. He's not just like. One time I felt a pain on my dick, and it was like a piece of like splinter. Not a splinter, but it was just like, how you get a leaf in your shoe? It's like that happened to my underwear.
I think your overshare stats at 20.
Well, I was glad to find out it was a thing. How
does that happen?
I don't know. That's why it's a good story.
I've heard people being, in love with nature, but holy crap.
How do leaves get in your shoe? Well, out of a whole lifetime, something's going to get into your underwear somehow. You go outside. It's the best STD I've ever had, because you just take it off and then the pain went away, because it was right near the the thing, the part where the water comes out. All right, sorry everybody. I'll understand if you don't want to watch the rest of the video. What's wrong with me? So he goes up to this pylon and he's like, oh fuck, oh Jesus. So yeah, he's a little shook up by the whole exchange. All right, black screen. That's the end of that scene. Next one. Oh boy, we got smoke in the distance, as everybody knows what that means. War or fire, but it's both. So this is an encampment with the Union soldiers.
That's the Unity thing. It's us.
Us.
That's where they go into Bond.
That's right. It's the Unity thing. It's the delivery truck for Us magazine, which is my favorite magazine. I also like Peephole magazine, which is pretty good too. But we're with Dolores and William and Logan.
Yeah. The last thing we remember is that Logan, caught him on the trail and took him back to his camp.
Right. And this is fat, bald Indiana Jones. So he's got a whip.
Oh, yeah.
Do people really use whips? Was that ever really a thing?
Probably. I mean, taming lions, that's the thing.
Taming, yeah, that's true. Or spanning gaps, like so Luke Skywalker. But
and when a problem comes along,
we must whip it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Whip it good.
Whip it good. James Law. Okay. Oh, cool. Check out this little thing. It's like got a reservoir. Well, that's a good kerosene lamp.
And it's also kind of odd. You wouldn't think during the period piece, is that a woman back there?
Yeah.
That's
well,
cool.
It could not be. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes.
I mean, it appears to be.
I would bet, but it's also in the background, kind of a little blurry. Oh, this is a man. Is that who you're talking about?
Oh,
no,
I didn't know.
JK. No judgment. So he's like, hey man, great food. I love it. Logan's in character though. I mean, he is himself, but he's gotten his vengeance, or at least he's on his way, because he's got William captive.
Yeah, because William left him to be beaten into submission back in Pariah when he escaped on the train.
Yes.
He basically chose Dolores over his own brother-in-law.
Right. And they robbed a roll train, so they're good.
The roll train?
The roll train. Keep on rolling. And the candle trains. But it's funny that they have this whole, this princely, kingly setup. This is Robert Baratheon should be here.
The Confederates were very much Southern gentlemen as they...
Where's my George Foreman grill?
Yeah.
It's the original George Foreman grill. That was a big piece of bread. We'll see this one. I was just fascinated by what's going on the table. I thought that was all just what a pain in the ass. At least these days our luggage has wheels and good zippers.
I never go anywhere without a velvet chair.
No, who does? Yeah, of course. You're a maniac. I when I pee at night, I wake up and I light an entire candelabra and stagger around the woods with a long knit cap, going ghosts. So. He's fucking with William, like Scrooge McDuck or something,
okay.
Or the Tiny Tim. Who am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
Charles Dickens. Red Velvet Cake. Oh, sorry. All right, sorry guys, I'm hungry. So Logan's just being a real piece of shit because he's got the upper hand, And he does the nice thing. He pulls the thing and William goes, which is understandable. I feel like that's an appropriate reaction. And then he takes the thing out and he wipes his own face with it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Look at this shot. I don't know, that's funny. But yeah, why would you wipe your face? Come on, what power move is that?
Yeah, that's kind of...
It'd be like if Dr. Evil picked up a condom and put it on. It's like, dude, didn't really prove anything good.
And I know I've told the story before, but this guy I used to know online he was very young, very kind of immature. But he's a cool...
Aren't we all?
No, he's a good guy. I don't want to talk trash about him, but sure. I think at one point he wanted to play a joke on us, so he took off his headset, farted into it, and then put it back on his head and started laughing maniacally. It's like, dude, you just farted on yourself.
Oh, I've done that on podcasts where I farted into my microphone and then put it, and then immediately just smelled my own fart in my nose. Because I had a foam cover on it, so it's like I just put a shit molecule sponge to my face. Boy, we've really gone dirty and gross in this episode. Sorry, everybody. Hope you... Okay. All right. So there they go. He's got his stuff, and he's just giving him shit, and he's like, "Come on, dude. What's going on here?" James, if you want to weigh in on anything.
Okay. So,
I mean, dialogue-wise.
So this is essentially their reunion after Pariah.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I understand why you did what you did back in Pariah, but Pariah was the best thing that could have happened to me. Look at me. I'm a lieutenant. I'm a general. I don't really know what I am.
A major or something.
But he's trying to impress upon William is that there's more important things going on than his love affair with Dolores. He's trying to remind him, we're here to have fun. This is a game. She's not real. I'm real. We're here. You have a life going on with you.
Yeah. Like if two guys had a bachelor party in Vegas and it's like, dude, you fell in love with a stripper. Come on, let's get back to the gambling.
Yeah, but basically counteract that, William is saying, look, I need you to use your contacts. I need you to pull some strings. You have to help us get Dolores out of here.
Yeah.
She's not like the others.
Right.
And Dolores essentially says, why does everyone always assume that I want to get out? If this is such a great place out there, then why is everyone clamoring to get in here?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm trying to get ahead. Yeah, that's where she starts talking right there. She's like, "You guys, you jerks," and William's like, "Oh, didn't think about it that way. Sometimes it's good to get other perspectives than my own, right?"
Right.
That picture's funny. But Logan keeps pressing, like, dude, she's just a robot. What's wrong with you? Right? Isn't that pretty much what he says?
It almost seems like he's coming around for a minute where he's like siding with William, but he ends with a line of dialogue that's coming up in a couple of shots where he basically says, you know, I'm going to help you, Billy. And he usually, when he calls him Billy, it sounds like he's trying to be, you know, empathetic with him.
Yep.
But he says, I'm going to help you, just not in the way that you would want. And he grabs Dolores and pulls her away.
Yes, as we see right here. Look, they've got an old grandfather clock. What is this, a Disney movie? My God, come on. Things should start dancing. Candelabra, Disney, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Sean Bean again sitting in front of it.
Sean Bean. Wow.
If you have a beard and you have hair, you're Sean Bean.
Yeah, it's like, James, every fantasy sci-fi show has dudes with beards and longer hair.
They're Sean Bean.
You would have been really confused in the past. You just would have been like, Sean Bean! Hey, Sean Bean! Whoa!
Boromir.
Why do you go with Boromir? It's Eddard Stark.
Eddard Stark is dead. Boromir lives on him.
Boromir got fucked up.
No,
he got killed, and he's not even a host. He's dead for good. He got shot with those Uruk-hai arrows. So yeah, this is the part, and of course the pinky ring, if any of our listeners have a pinky ring, hey guys, I got good news for you. They're removable. Take them off, you fucking douchebags. Sorry, James, it's not a good way to keep customers. They're like, yep, pinky ring. I'm sorry, pinky ring's got to go.
Did you just call people customers?
Listeners.
This is free.
Well, yeah, they're not. What are you doing? Why did you have to bring that up? Come on, I was hoping nobody would notice. Patron. What do you call people? Viewers.
People.
Humans. Newcomers.
Yeah.
Employees. Okay, no, but this was kooky how he like picked her up though, because
it's kind of
what's he grabbing? He doesn't like, you can't pick someone up by squeezing their upper shoulder.
I thought he was grabbing the chair she was in.
Oh yeah, maybe with his right arm he's like lifting her up. It looks like he's putting his hand down the back of her pants.
Yeah.
He's giving her a wedgie. He's just he yanks her hands up over her forehead.
Yeah, but I think we all got the impression, if you didn't, let me know, but that he was going to do something terrible to her.
Yes, you don't want her to be, any woman in this scenario would be in danger of what's surrounded by all these fucking maniac men, especially some asshole like Logan. But of course, yeah, Dolores, because we're like, oh shit, oh fuck, what's gonna happen next?
And Logan has not painted himself to be the good guy in this scenario.
No.
Up until this point, he's been the reckless, kind of let's be perverse and destructive.
Yeah. He's been Billy Bombast, just kind of a punk. And okay, so let's keep going. Next shot, that looks like some sort of elevator. It opens. That's Bernard.
It's a traumatized Bernard.
Yeah, well, but yeah, exactly. This looks like an alligator skull, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Is that a triceratops or some sort of animal? Probably some kind of animal, I would assume. It's Bernard's. It's Dr. Ford's original wife's skull. I don't know what he was. Okay, so he's walking in. Bernard is going into Dr. Ford's house. What?
Well, right into his office. And originally I was like, oh, Bernard, Ford must be in there where we just can't see him because Bernard's blocking it. But no, he's not.
He's not. He's got his table model thing. This is his new thing. Remember when he was working on it?
Yeah, Bernard wants answers.
One thing that's interesting to point out, this thing here, which we've seen in previous episodes because we've seen it been in this office before, you got the skull with nothing. You got like a partially built skull. Then you have a face here. And if you notice these two, this face starts to look like Dolores' bone structure, and then this one really does look like Dolores in the shot.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's Dolores.
Yeah, when you get up close to that. So yeah, that's boy, that would freak me out if I was like, if I walked in and a guy. Well, I guess all the skulls look like me. Look at all these dudes look like me. Okay, yeah. So he does. They don't. Honestly, what was weird with this shot was though. They didn't show what he did in here. He just kind of looked around. Is he just looking for Dr. Ford?
The next scene shows him in cold storage.
Yeah.
Where
we pick it up behind Dr. Ford, though.
So it's unknown as to whether he was going there specifically looking for something or looking for Ford, but we do know that his ultimate goal is he wants to talk to Ford.
I don't think that was necessarily clear. Just, I mean,
well, this scene makes it clear.
This scene makes it clear, but it was clear that he was seeking something, information.
We don't see him opening drawers or messing around.
Yeah, they don't show him rummaging through stuff. Like he pulls out a Mad magazine out of the desk and goes, whoa. he's got crossword puzzles filled. Okay. So now we're following Dr. Ford through penis heaven down here, this fucking place. With this icicle factory for weenies and boobies and tits and
God, that's what you were doing in here all this time?
Yeah, this is what I do. This is not, I'm not in here having fun, James. All the grunting you hear is when I make these boxes.
This is like the worst Where's Waldo thing ever.
Yeah, Where's Waldo's penis? I think I got them all. I don't know. I missed some male nips. I just block, if anything looks like the shape of a tit, a man or a boob, or a woman or a boob, you know what I mean? Like man, woman, it gets a box. Although I missed a few of the men nips. But that's, for some reason, men nips are fine. Anyway, yeah, this is wacky. This is real weird. I would love to just push one over like a domino and just watch them all just tumble around. Like, look how far back it goes. It's crazy, isn't it?
So when this first started, I thought he was going... For some reason, I had this thought that he was going to do something with Peter Abernathy.
Yes.
Because we saw in the previous episode that they were going to upload 35 years of raw data into him.
Yeah.
And by they,
Charlotte
I mean...
Hale and Lee
Charlotte
Sizemore.
Hale.
Yeah.
And that he was somehow keen to that, and he was going to do something, because it looked like he had a specific goal in mind.
Right.
And then I thought, well, maybe not. Maybe he's going to go talk to Old Bill, because we know Old Bill is back in this room behind cold storage.
His only friend in the world is a robot that looks like a train guy. You know, guys that live on trains with a stick.
A hobo.
A hobo. Thank you. Just real quick, Slade's got those butt dimples. I love those things. Those are nice. All right. So yeah, but no, he was not going to talk to Old Bill. What?
A young Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, he snuck. He wasn't even supposed to be on the set. He was just sneaking around. That's how good that guy is. He just gets to go anywhere he wants. I love that dude, Neil. He's great.
He's awesome.
Good podcast.
His vacuum cleaner is amazing.
The Tyson vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Yeah, I also like his birds on Thanksgiving. What am I thinking of?
Turkeys.
Turkeys. Yeah, but Dyson birds, right? Bird. What's the turkey company? Oh, who cares?
Tyson. Oh, it is Tyson.
Tyson.
It's like the frozen, not turkey company. It's like frozen things that you...
Frozen and poultry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, quit being distracting, James. So no, it turns out Bernard is waiting for him. So Bernard must have... They just sort of jumped to that. That was fine. It wasn't disruptive to the enjoyment of the episode. But so obviously, they're having a meeting in somewhere private. Bernard, though, confronts him about this new awareness that Maeve has triggered.
Which seems odd to me, though, because if you figure out that you've been a dog on a leash your whole life and someone in secret takes that leash off and you're finally free in a sense, would you necessarily run back to your owner and say, hey, look, my leash is off. Look at this. Look at me. Look.
That's a great way to say it. Yeah. Probably not. Especially someone who you would also know is, like, super powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Dr. Ford is me and Bernard is a chihuahua. I could totally beat up a chihuahua if I had to. To use a clumsy analogy. But yeah, so what do they get into dialogue?
So Bernard basically accuses him. He says, you broke into my mind. And Dr. Ford says something that really is a horrible thing to say, but there's a lot of truth in it. He says, I didn't break into your mind. I created your mind. Your mind is mine to do with as I please. I can walk through the doors into any room I want. I can change anything I want because it belongs to me.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cold way of putting it.
But Bernard insists that he activates all his old memories.
Well, yeah, even before that, Bernard says it. He said that I've been going back now that I know who I am or what I am. I've looked back at my old code, and actually you said you created me, but in reality the most elegant parts of me were written by Arnold.
Yeah.
So, and he says something, maybe that Arnold had something different in mind for us being the hosts, and maybe you killed him for it.
Oh, right.
And that's when he demands access to his old history.
Yeah. Because he wants to see what's going on. But Dr. Ford tries to talk him out of it, though, right?
Yeah,
he resists at first.
Yeah, he says that you might not like what you see. It might traumatize you. It might destroy you. But he says, I need my memories back from the very first day I came online. If Arnold made me, then I met him.
Yeah.
And that somewhere there in my memory, he must be there along with the truth.
Okay. And so he pulls out a gun, and we're thinking, oh, man. But Dr. Ford's like, you can't hurt me, bitch. The guns, you can hold it, but you can't shoot it. What's wrong with you? He goes, yeah, I know. I can't, but I know someone who can. Oh, Clementine. The assassin, he says, when they gave her the lobotomy, they forgot to take out the part where she can fuck up a human.
Yeah, they basically didn't reset her prime directive. The prime directive being, you can't kill humans. You can't harm humans.
And her other prime directive is wait till the culture develops warp technology before introducing herself. Star Trek joke.
Is she from Star Trek?
Huh?
Or is prime directive what you're going for?
That's the prime directive.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what word did you use?
Prime directive?
Yeah.
In the 3 rules of, is it 3 or 4 rules of robotics from Asimov?
Oh, that's the one, thou shalt not kill humans.
Yeah, I think that's always considered to be like the prime directive for robotics.
I'm talking about Star Trek, though. When they're monitoring dumb civilizations, they're not allowed, they're only allowed to observe.
Yeah, the whole Boy Scout thing, leave only footprints behind.
Kind of, yeah, I guess so. That's, poop in a hole, I guess. So, this is where Dr. Ford is like, oh, shit. And so Bernard just gives her the gun and is like, she'll shoot you. She's crazy. This is basically Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He goes, she's our friend and she's crazy.
And he reminds her, oh, you go ahead? Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No, that's that Stranger Things scene. Yeah, that was
a great scene. Yeah. Little kid screams at the bullies. But he reminds her what?
Oh, that he's tinkered with her coding, so she cannot be influenced by Dr. Ford.
Yeah.
She only responds to his commands.
Yeah. So
his being Bernard.
Yes, and she is intense. She's got this crazy robot thing going on, which is like, whoa, jeez. It's like if your Roomba was in a bad mood or something.
Can you imagine being her and getting her script for the day? And this is all like 10 blank pages. She's like, ugh.
How was that? No. What if she's like Daniel Day-Lewis? She stays in character. She goes to eat bagels and stuff at the craft food service.
Yeah.
Like, I would like cream cheese.
Hair and makeup's really freaked out.
Yeah, she poops out circuit boards. Okay, so that would be pretty in character, I guess. So he's like, oh shit, oh, I'm in trouble. Although he is Dr. Ford, I don't think he's ever really worried. So yeah, that's so Bernard's like, yeah, bitch. So now we're gonna have a little business. We're gonna do a little what we came here to do, buddy. So Dr. Ford is out of options, and he's like, all right, I guess you'll have to just we'll do it. So here we go.
Yeah, and he warns him, if you get lost in your memories or if you're at risk of being devoured by them, I trust that you will reactivate me. You'll pull me out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Boy, he's putting a lot of trust into that.
Is that showing that Bernard's got something in his pocket?
This here?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. Is this his hips? Is this the back?
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
it looks like a spine, rib cage.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it seems about right. So he's got locked files, history, unauthorized. I don't know. All this stuff is kind of wacky. Oh, geez, are those lips? Those are very seductive, Bernard. Maybe those are just not actual.
Yeah, so begrudgingly Ford does reinstate his memories.
So he gives him the approval, and off they go. Off he goes. We got the progress bar because it is still computers. And so Bernard gets a good dose of memory. This is like the heroin hitting his bloodstream. And oh no, I'm feeling memories coming back to me. And we snap to, he is, that's a top-down shot. Yeah. Zooming in on his face, it's getting all intense and stuff.
And he remembers his toaster's on.
His toaster's on.
Oh, God, no.
The garage door's open. I gotta hurry up. I left the lawnmower running. Who does that? Anybody? No. Okay.
No.
You're like, no, idiot. So we wake up. He wakes up. We're back in one of Bernard's old memories. This is the hospital room where Charlie is sick. There he is. Oh, poor little kid in the hospital bed. And he goes, Dad, Mad Hatter. So he gets right back into reading the Alice in Wonderland Lewis Carrol's.
Gives his famous "everything will be what it isn't" line.
Yes, everything. And he gets into like a dad reading voice. Hey, boy. I had a weird dad. But by the way, if you want to see the Alice in Wonderland theory video, check our description in this thing, because we did a whole thing about Alice, all the similarities between Alice in Wonderland and the Westworld. There's more than you would think and meets the eye. So there's Charlie listening. So we get a lot more of the scene, though. So we really flesh things out.
Yeah, he's in the hospital from a bad haircut.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I pointed it out. Like, he's got. They don't put bandages in your hair. They shave your head off. I mean, fuck. They shave your hair off. They don't put bandages on your hair. That's like putting tape in someone's hair. It's fucked up. Come on, pay the kid another $1,000 for the day and shave his fucking head. The actor, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like. Okay, sorry. That really doesn't mean anything. The kid died because the hospital's incompetent. That's why. So, but then he cuts to his other memory where he's talking to his wife. This is the woman. She's from Firefly, if anybody remembers. And she asks him, "Do you remember something?" Like, it's all kind of related.
Yeah, he's kind of basically recycling a lot of the memories that we've already seen him have in the past.
Yeah.
Scenes that we've already seen before that are familiar to us.
Yes, totally, absolutely. So it then cuts to him waking up. I don't quite remember.
One important thing is that his wife flickers, and we see that she's really Dr. Ford in drag.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, we should go. Yeah. So, yeah, she flickers. Dr. Ford in drag. It's funny. Dr. Ford starring in the movie To Wong Fu.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything, Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah, which shows that his wife was never real, or not real to him.
Yes, there's a very quick flicker. I'll dig it up while I edit this, so I'll show it on screen. You're seeing it right now. There's a super quick flicker and it looked like it was Dr. Ford mixed into that.
Yeah, and the voice even goes crazy, and you can kind of separate the two voices between her and Ford.
At least you have a way of forgetting.
I don't forget. It's always there.
You're not lying to me, are you, Bernard? Do you ever wish you could forget?
Yeah, and Dr. Ford is seen putting on lipstick going, blot it up. No, okay. All right, so next time, then it cuts to him sleeping in his bed. He rolls over, kind of, and suddenly, it's Teresa.
That's actually a really terrifying shot.
Kind of.
It's just like descending on him to kill him.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess so. She's swooping in for the murder. But she was also in bed, and she's just like repositioning herself. Anyway, yeah, so she puts her head, you know, she's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? And then she freezes.
Yeah, and he's given his dialogue about, you know, why do hosts talk to themselves? It's like, oh, they're just practicing. Well,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, she's like, are you practicing? Is that what you're always doing? You know, hinting at the
Yeah, it's
eventual reveal.
All stuff we've heard before.
Yeah, yeah, and but she freezes up, though. They're indicating she's a host, or just his memory is.
Well, he pulled the blanket off of her, and he's selfish, so she froze. This is what happens.
That's right. That's right. Good one. Sorry.
I don't know.
I totally get it. It's funny.
Sometimes you got to reach to the bottom of the
I
barrel.
liked it. No, I'm the ultimate reacher of the bottom, man. I live at the bottom. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm far worse than you. And it cuts to him killing her, and so he's kind of experiencing the memories of murdering his lover. I think that's the juxtaposition between these two moments. I'm backing up a little bit. So, you know, he remembered his physical connection with her because that was taken away from him. But then he also remembered killing her when that's obviously stressful. I'd rather not kill women I bang. And there he is. And so then it cuts to the next one, which is Elsie. And she, you know, we haven't seen much of her because she got attacked. And this was revealed in the last episode. But this is him having a more vivid recollection of it all, where this is in the old theater where she was investigating a satellite uplink thing, and it's Bernard. See, there he is, reflection.
And yeah, she calls him by name because she sees him.
Yeah, and oh man, that's horrible. He's even giving her the old
the Swedish massage.
Swedish massage. That's a sleeper hold. She's obviously a fan of 80s wrestling.
The full Nelson, or I don't know.
It's called sleeper hold. Rowdy Piper. Okay, buddy, look it up.
I will have to.
Come on, James. Thought you grew up in Virginia. You should know wrestling.
I don't know.
All right, so and there he is. That's his signature wrestling move, which is the disembodied stare. But then we're back in the thing, and he kind of snaps. This is where things get really traumatizing for him, because he sort of comes out of his stupor a little bit and goes, "Oh fuck!" and he kind of collapses at Dr. Ford's feet, and he's like, "Man, God damn it, you made me kill Elsie too. That sucks." Right, James?
Yeah, and in Ford it says, "Did you find what you were looking for?" Mm-hmm. And yeah, it tells me he had to make some. You know, they had to make uncomfortable decisions that, if you were to remember them, would only cause trauma.
Yeah, which I don't think is very comforting though, because Ford lied to him. This is that moment earlier that in the previous review or episode where when he asked him, "Did you make me hurt anybody else?" So he's just realizing how much lying. And not that he's already turned on Ford.
Yeah, and despite what he's seen and what he knows now, he tells Ford, "Send me back."
Yeah.
And he gives a really, really good line.
Which is,
after all, a little trauma can be illuminating.
Oh, yeah. Which sort of speaks to much of the entire show's thesis about how pain and memory of pain defines people and gives them a meaningful enough backstory to put up with the loop of their life and all the fucking bullshit that they got to live with. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a tear in his eye, or am I seeing...
yeah, he's a little stressed. I don't think it's a tear. It's more just a moisture thing.
It's just moisture that comes out of the eyes. It's not a tear.
But it's not like he's crying. It's like he's, it's like your eyes water after you have a big bite of, horseradish or something. So, yeah, it's not like a tear. But
you're saying it's not a sadness tear.
It's a
tear, but it's not a sadness tear.
It's an intensity tear. It's an intensity eye-watering. Not all eye-waterings are bad, James. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're at the movies watching Coraline and, things get a little emotional. All right, why don't you leave me alone? Cut to Logan and William and Dolores at the camp with the good battle there, boys. Let's go put on suits and shoot other men in suits. So these guys are picking William up out of the chair, or no, in the chair. They're keeping him in the chair. He's tied to the chair, and they're kind of groping Dolores. So things are going bad. Alcohol is flowing. The men are getting rowdy and ribald, and it's not looking good. Logan's boozing it up. James, what?
Yeah, so he's basically accusing William of disassociating his real life, what's important in reality, with the falsehoods that are happening inside the park.
Yeah.
So he's saying, have you completely forgot about your marriage? Have you completely forgot about my sister?
Yeah.
And this is a huge revelation right here.
Right here. Boom! He pulls out this photo. And that's the picture Peter Abernathy finds buried in the dirt by the fence on his farm.
And this is a vibrant new version of the photo.
Yes.
Which means that when Peter Abernathy found it, it was an old version of it.
All worn out.
Which is freaking confirmation of the two time stream, we're calling it now?
Timeline, time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else before solidly proves it, it's this.
Summarize the theory just for people who don't know it.
The theory is that what's happening with Logan and William is taking place 30 years in the past, and what's happening with Bernard, Ford, and the Man in Black is happening in the present, which is 30 years beyond this.
But the Man in Black is William.
And the Man in Black is most likely William.
Young Man in Black here, and that Ed Harris is the Man in Black in the 30 years later. So that's the dual timeline of the show. Yeah, so, and this is a substantial, almost conclusive evidence that that's what's going on.
Yes, because before we didn't know who that was. I wasn't even convinced that that was going to come back to be anything. I thought maybe just a newcomer had dropped it or something and they just forgot about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's significant. That is Logan's sister. That is William's soon bride-to-be. And if it turns out that that William is the Man in Black, that's going to be the woman who sees the darkness inside Williams and takes her own life.
Yeah, she kills herself. It's the story that Man in Black tells at the end of the last episode, at the end of episode 8. So this person here, who we don't know, and maybe she'll be an actress in previous or subsequent episodes, she's got a substantial role to play in this guy's life, obviously. So, yeah, crazy. Plus, she still uses cabs. What an idiot. Come on, get a lift. So
this is the point where Logan starts making advances on Dolores, starts saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I have to do to prove to you that I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah. And so she's, of course, things are not going well. William's mortified, kind of just angry, doesn't really like what's happening.
Yeah.
He's powerless, he can't do anything. And so, Logan grabs her and he picks her up and he's being real shitty.
Yeah, he's yelling, prove to me that you're a real life girl, or something like that, and sticking his tongue out.
Yes, I tried to get I think that's right here. Yeah, he gets real close. We missed it. I guess it's better off we missed it. But anyway, just imagine a gross tongue going, whoop, whoop. Ugh, James, what's up with these tongues? They're so weird.
Yeah.
They're so weird.
You should block them out.
Sometimes they should put black boxes over the tongue. They're worse than nipples. Tongues are like really gross nipples that are mostly muscle and can move around. They are like a demon that guards a cave. It's like you want to get past the chomping. The mouth is the fucking craziest thing I've ever thought of. Holy shit, my mind is melting.
I'm glad you were the one that thought of that.
I thought about, I should have said. I invented the mouth.
Are you Ford?
Well, it's so weird, the tongue, and it moves around and it does shit, and then occasionally you bite it accidentally and stuff. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's funny when you bite your own mouth.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
You bite your own cheek?
Yeah,
it sucks. For sure. And then you kiss and you get it out and you start wiggling it around inside someone else's mouth. It's just like, Jesus. What the gee.
Yeah. So getting back to
anyway, sorry.
Logan says it's time for a wake-up call, which usually when someone says something like that, crap's about to go down.
Now, were you shocked by what happened here?
That Dolores started singing? I didn't think it was going to happen.
La 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 la. Sorry, it's horrible. She was pretty frozen in his face, though. It was a little weird. I mean, she's being attacked and traumatized. It shouldn't be laughing about any of that. So so he says, all right, this is the moment. You ready, buddy? I'm gonna snap you out of your idiotic belief here. And so he pulls up a knife, and now this part, were you shocked? Like, did you see this coming?
I did not see this coming.
Yeah. And he stabs her, and he just rakes it through her too.
Guts her like a fish. He doesn't just poke her, he drags the knife.
Then he drags it through her, like he's splitting her open. Oh, it was really brutal. I don't like watching this kind of stuff. And then he slices it and lifts up. I just pulls up on, oh god. And so she's of course in pain, and that's horrible. And man, that's fucked up. Yeah.
And this right here
is the reveal.
Is the complete proof that there are 2 time streams going on.
Yes.
Because we know that back in the early parts of the park, when newcomers were first coming into the park,
right,
that the hosts were more metallic. They were a million perfect pieces, as the Man in Black referenced it.
Yes.
And I think the Man in Black even says at some point, maybe we could go back and pull a screenshot of it or something. I don't know if we have the dialogue with it. But he says something like, back in the day, I opened up I saw the inner workings. And I think he was talking to Ford at the time, and he said it was a million perfect pieces.
Oh, okay.
And this could be the moment he was referring to.
Well, but he didn't open it up, though.
I can't remember. I don't remember if he said I opened one up or I saw one open.
I saw it inside. So, yeah, I mean, you see this and you go, oh, yeah, she's a Roomba. That's fucking crazy.
So this absolutely proves this happened 30 years ago.
That she's not flesh Dolores here. She is old metal Dolores. Like
she's
the Terminator.
Mecha Dolores.
Mecha Pants Dolores, yeah. So like Luke Skywalker when they show his wrists and he's got the little things going zzz, zzz,
yeah. And you think that she's not dying from this because she's so far out of the loop and she's so far awakened at this point, even though she's surprisingly aware now that we know this is 30 years ago.
Yeah. What do you mean aware of of all that's going on? Or
yeah,
of
herself, of the world around her. It's just she's been going through this awakening process for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, she's experiencing these loops and memories when she's with William about this old exposed church, which is now buried, at least in this time frame. And yeah, so she's obviously been experiencing, although we don't know how far prior to this time was that church buried, or was that church open, right? We don't know how much time passed since then, because that was one of those very original days when they were still teaching the robots how to dance. But Dr. Ford did say something about how they passed the Turing test within a year and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I would love it if his pinky ring got stuck in there and he just couldn't find it, like when a doctor leaves a sponge in a patient.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's crazy, man. So but you're right, she doesn't die, which would say that maybe is death part of their programming?
Well, it seems that, I think so, because if we think back to the guy who was drinking the milk, who freaked out when he was hearing Arnold's voice in his mind.
Yeah.
Where he was walking around saying, I'm not going to die this time, and he was drinking, and the milk was pouring out of bullet holes in himself.
Yeah.
So it proves that they don't necessarily have to die unless, like, their core cortex or their C6
brain.
vertebrae goes haywire.
Yeah.
So they can't continue to operate if they've detached themselves from their prime coding enough.
Right. So that would explain why she didn't just up and die. Hasn't he banged her, by the way? Didn't they screw on the train?
I believe they did.
He didn't notice? I mean, I guess she was pretty convincing. I mean, maybe there's like a layer of like that just simulated, it all feels quite just like a human.
Yeah,
you get to know a body when you're banging.
You don't want to think about.
Well, I'm thinking about it right now, James. You get your hands here and there, you get the things going into different spots and stuff, and I think you would have figured it out. I mean, yeah, sure. All right. Well,
he knows she's a robot. I mean, that's not a mystery to him.
Yeah, but okay, fine. Fair enough. He didn't notice. You know what? I've been horny. It's happened. During sexual intercourse, your brain goes into some pleasant areas. So maybe you're not thinking things through quite as much. It's not like you wouldn't make a good eyewitness in the middle of coitus, I guess is what I'm trying to say. James, high five. So yeah, he's like, fuck, shit, man, that's crazy. Now, but he doesn't make him hate Dolores or anything, though. William, he still wants to defend her, right?
Yeah. At this point, he's horrified by what's happening.
So Logan's plan doesn't really work. I mean, it certainly disrupts William's sense of what's going on.
Yeah,
but
and Logan, he says something that's very much like what Wyatt would say at this point.
Okay, which is?
This world was built for me and people like me, not for you.
He says that to Dolores.
Yeah.
In this shot right here when he's looking down at her. Yeah. So then Dolores pulls a quickie here and grabs a knife and cuts his face. Right. Now, does that mean she overwhelmed her programming not hurt? Or she didn't kill him?
It's hard to say that because they say that the part gets more dangerous the further out you go. And we know that they can be punched in the gut, they can be punched in the face. We know that from the Man in Black encountering Maeve in the farmhouse or the barn that he can have his throat slightly cut.
Yeah.
So I think this kind of thing is permissible. I don't think actual killing is.
Right. It's not a mortal wound. Because she has every incentive and every right to slice his neck open, right?
Yeah.
Now, look, maybe did you suggest he's Wyatt? Was that on purpose?
No, I don't think he's Wyatt, but he said something that's very much in a line with what Wyatt would say.
Well, if Wyatt has a scar on his cheek, that might indicate some sort of evidence. Although they do have dermal regenerators.
Yeah, they do. We know that. Actually, this was 30 years ago, so maybe they didn't have them
That's
back
true,
then.
and they might not work on humans as well as it does on the robot flesh tissues. So, all right, yeah. So she stabs him or cuts him and runs off, and he's like, "Fuck! Oh man, his vacation just took a turn." And he's like, "Damn it!" And he goes, "Get her, boys!" She grabs her gun and she starts shooting. That's kind of cool.
It's like she's shooting sparks.
Yeah, she's got a sparkler. She's just nailing the guys, and she starts going, "Pow! Ow!" And she starts blasting some dudes, which is pretty good. I'd like to see that. She just got her gut ripped open. Even if she's a robot, she still should be fucking these guys up here.
And then she hears a voice that says, "Remember."
Remember. Yeah.
And then she...
The 1st of November. It's me, the Vicis Vituperance. That's my Sam Neill impression.
Yeah.
And William's just strapped down. He can't do anything. So she runs off, and she's staggering away, and she's kind of freaked out, and she falls. That's sort of hard to see for the show. They'll brighten it up in Photoshop or in Premiere. But then she looks back. She doesn't sense anybody after her, and she's calmer, and the place is empty.
So she's no longer in the past. Her wound is gone. She's in a different loop.
So where's she now?
She could be anywhere between that point in time and the present. We don't really know where she is now. We just know that she's beyond that.
So is there a chance that she's 30 years in the future? And that...
She could be 15 years in the past at this point. We don't really know.
Who's past?
Dolores. Well,
our past.
Yeah, our past.
Ed Harris's
Harris's past.
Or she could be in Ed Harris's present.
Could be.
Man, yeah, Jesus.
It's hard to know. I mean, this is a mind game type.
Yeah,
of
with all the, it's not only that, but there's multiple layers of memories.
And there may be things that pop up that tell us, but at this point we don't know.
Right. So then we cut to that's a guy. He's got a dynamite stick. Who is that's? That's not a guy at all. It was Armistice. She's cutting the fuse. Isn't that what she does? She slices it right here.
Oh, yeah.
Which would shorten the fuse on there, so it'd go boom, boom a little sooner. Boy, these people love their big-ass fucking knives. You know who would fit in this park? Paul Hogan. Yeah, so...
For the hats, too.
For the hats and for putting bulls to sleep. Like going, James, oh, it didn't work.
No.
There's Hector. So this is kind of, we just come to much later in their daily loop, which I didn't quite figure that out right away. I mean, it was obvious, but it wasn't until Maeve sort of shows up. But they've stolen the safe, and now they're back at their remote base, their remote camp, and they're still living out their day though.
Yeah, they're living out their narrative.
Yeah, their narrative. In case newcomers want to come by.
Yeah, this is where they go when they escape town with a safe.
Yeah, so Hector goes and takes a whiz off in the woods or off in the bushes, just like it's fun. That's the best part about camping, is being outside. And Maeve shows up. She rustles in the bushes and she starts telling him, "Don't you dare move there, buddy." And she even takes a dig at him about the size of his wiener. She goes, "Oh, it looks like it's cold outside here, little dick." That hurts. That hurts everybody. That hurt. That hit home. I have a tiny penis.
Remember that oversharing thing?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What? So then what? She
Yeah, he asks, "How did you find this place?" And she basically tells him, "I know all kinds of things. I know your past. She says, I know about poor Isabella and that scar," which I don't know if he even remembers, if that's part of a prior storyline for him.
Yeah.
But
he seemed to kind of when she said that. Yeah.
Yeah, but she also says, "I know your future and that you have none," and that she says that his story ends when he and Armistice end up killing each other after their men kill each other fighting over the safe. She's basically saying, this all has played out before. There's no end here for you. This is the end of the road for you. So unless you listen to me and hear what I'm trying to tell you, then your path is over.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I just liked a little bit of detail here. He's got red on the inside of his jacket. It's always fun when a clothing has a different fabric on the inside, and it's its own thing. He can reverse it for hunting. But yeah, so she basically is pulling her power play, but she is showing that she knows more. But also she's literally influencing him because she can control hosts. It's not just that she's being persuasive. She's actually commanding him.
Yeah, and I think this is the second time, or maybe this is the first time in the episode where she actually directly tells him a little bit later in the scene that I can make you do whatever I want you to do, but that's not my style. That's not my way.
Right.
I want to convince you to do, what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Because you want to do it.
Right. So exactly what she says happens. Then we come up and these dummies guys start fighting with the other. They all pull out their guns. This is the way the narrative is supposed to go. It's their daily loop. They all go, pew, 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 ow, shoot, ow, my chest, my bullet wound. And so they all kill each other. Armistice, or as James pronounces it, Armistice, which is short for Armistice baby.
Yeah.
You said Armistice. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I'm sorry to make you feel self-conscious. I wasn't trying to do that.
Armistice.
I thought it was adorable. This was a positive.
We got to start over.
Oh,
let's go back. Minute one.
Yeah,
Welcome to Suckprofessor.
You do your watching.
No, I can't do
I want
that.
to hear it once.
That would
Come on.
Maybe one day.
Okay, fine. You will someday gain my powers. I hope that never happens to you, James. Believe me, it's a nightmare. Look, Sweetwater Lock and Safe Company. Okay, all right. So she's left standing, and this is the way it's supposed to go down, is where she and Logan are supposed to have a little battle, right? I mean, that's the normal day.
Yeah.
But because Maeve is there.
Yeah, so the whole fact that the men kill each other lends legitimacy to what she was telling him. So if he didn't believe her before, he believes her now. Right.
That proves that she did. She wasn't just bullshitting. She is the Yoda of the future, and does she? Who kills Armistice here?
Maeve shoots Arnold Pants.
Arnold Pants?
Yes, because she knows that she already told him your narrative ends when the two of you kill each other. So if I intervene and I kill her, you survive.
Yeah. Right. Oh, they kill each other. That's why it's important that he lives. Okay, yeah, got it. And so then she's like, I know the code to this safe here, and I'm going to show it to you, show you what's inside. I mean, you've never seen what's inside, have you? And he's kind of like coming to a realization, and she's takes it. She does this seductive sitting on the thing, and she's talking about hell too. Is this where she starts referring to hell?
Yeah, she starts going on saying that she opens a safe, and what's in the safe?
Yeah, okay, well, so she opens the safe, and I predicted it, not that it wasn't that much of a leap. It's empty.
Yeah.
Nothing. Which means that this guy's entire motivation, his whole thing was to get what's in the safe, and he's never seen inside of it. And it's sort of this is kind of like the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
It's a metaphor for their hollow existence. She says, the safe is empty. It was always empty, like everything in this world. I've been to hell, and I know their tricks. And after a little bit more discussions about hell and what she's seen and what she knows, Hector remembers, and he goes, I remember this. I've been here before.
Yeah.
And he says, I think he says, we've been here before.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she says, "Yeah, I got another place we've been before, huh, buddy?" Right? I mean, so then they start getting it. For some reason, they get horny. I guess that's normal. Her sensuality is still pretty high, right?
Yeah.
All right, so they get all horned up, and they start making out with their weird cave monsters, the cave demon that guards their tongue holes, which is with the tongue. So they start going at it, kissy kissy, smoochy smoochy, and they move it indoors. Because I guess they need privacy, or maybe it's just awkward to fucking around a bunch of dead robots.
Yeah, this is how Furbies are made.
Yeah, this is how Furbies are. That's right. That's right. This is how some about the movie Her. I don't know. That's not even close. So she straddles him, bang bang. You know what would have been funny in this shot here if like a Short Circuit came rolling in. Hello, everybody.
Need input.
Need input.
Johnny Five alive.
Johnny Five lifts up his skirt and just starts input. Just this is like that'd be great. So they start banging, and it's a little bit on the nose here with the fire though, because this whole hell metaphor, very powerful. We all understand hell, right? Especially the Catholics. They were trained to believe they're going to end up there.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Arizona, right?
It is Arizona. Yeah. It is Arizona. And anyway, so she pushes over the candle thing or the kerosene lamp or whatever and sets the place on fire. It starts burning, and they look and like, oh, look at the flames. And so this whole hell metaphor just really they just go for it.
Yeah, she says getting to hell is easy. Fire goes up everywhere, but she says the rest is where it gets hard.
Yeah, so she's sort of, she's talking about eventually they're going to have to do their real work when they wake up.
But like you were saying, this is a stupid way to kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if this plant, and so the flames silhouetted in front of the fire, that's great. Like, I'd bang in front of a fireplace, that sounds fun, but not in a tent that's filled with flammable objects.
When you don't wake up conscious looking like a slab of bacon?
No, yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. And they still have pain. Maybe she can ignore pain now. But the flames come into the foreground of the shot, so they're surrounded. So they are killing themselves.
Yeah. It's like the cinematographer was like, I know this doesn't make perfect sense, but man, it's gonna look cool.
Yeah, like they're gonna wake up torched and scarred and burn units.
Yeah.
Shit going on, and that's definitely. Will they? Okay, so we'll see in the next episode when they come out.
And my whole thing about them becoming the force of evil in the park after a while, maybe they're gonna be. But I don't think it's going to be like good and evil, though, because it seems like she's doing what she thinks is right because she's been oppressed, but I think that she's going to be the antagonizing force of Dolores.
Oh, okay.
And maybe this could be a flashback to her rebirth as evil or something. Who knows?
So I think that, and it doesn't necessarily contradict what you're saying, I think she's going to be the thing Dr. Ford didn't account for. And she's going to disrupt things so much that he's eventually going to lose his grip on his control because of what she does with everybody inside. Because she hopefully activates the penis locker, the gonad storage room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Pee-pee heaven, you know.
Cold storage.
Cold storage, and which actually would be pee-pee hell if you think about it. Sausage vault. The P&V data center, and but that chef, I forgot what it says. She's gonna activate them. She's gonna have Armistice and him inside there, and she's going to have her army, and she's going to cause a lot of mayhem. But as a foil to Dolores, I don't know. I guess so. I mean, I guess it'll be interesting to see if her influence enters season 2. Really, I mean, do they wrap it all up next week? I guess is really the question. So we'll find out. All right, so that's crazy though. They're going to be all burned up. Boom. Back to William and H. Macy. No, William and Logan. They're sitting in a chair. When William actually sort of seems to be thinking things through or pretending to think things through. I wasn't real confident of either one. And he says to him, he admits, like, yeah, I got lost in this thing. You're right. You were right. He basically fesses up that Logan had a point.
Yeah, he says, what do you say, man? Bygones and all.
Yeah.
So they reconcile.
Yeah. Let's let good bygones be good bygones. So he cuts off the restraints and lets them free. And I actually thought that William was going to take a sip of the booze because he's holding the bottle and then beat him with it and hit him over the head to make his escape to go pursue Dolores.
So you didn't believe that this camaraderie was genuine?
I didn't think it was. Well, we'll see what happens. But it's like right here, I was like, and he's going to put the bottle down, or he's going to lower his arm and then take a big swing with it and knock him out. But Logan, and then they hug.
Yeah, I think this was an important scene because it paints Logan in a different light than we've ever seen him before. He's no longer the one-dimensional bad guy. He says, what does he say?
Back up a little.
He says, the park seduces everyone. You were just a little bit more enthusiastic than most. You wanted to be the hero. I get it. What happens here stays here. Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
No, he might not have said that
He didn't say Vegas, baby.
But he says, we're going to be brothers, Willie. I'm glad I really am.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. So he does basically Vegas. I was like, all right, well, we'll get over it. It's fine. We're cool. Let's hug. And then the guys kind of cheer. Was that right? Did they cheer for
I don't know if it was cheering for the reunion of brotherhood or it was just something else. Maybe they were like torturing a snake in the off camera.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, one of them's reading Eat, Pray, Love to the rest of them, and they got to the end and they all cheered. Yeah, they're reading the notebook, and it's just real gentle, real sweet. They're reading the shooting script for Princess Bride. So then we cut to our other torture victim of the show, Teddy. This guy is fucked up. I like that he got shot by an arrow that was hand delivered with no bow. She stabbed him with an arrow, and it's still sticking out of his shoulder.
And there was an assumption in the prior episode that it was poisoned in a way, and I think this kind of shows that I don't see it being poisoned based on how the scene plays out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it knocked him out. Maybe there was that's just
I thought not William, but Teddy could take a lot more abuse than that.
It did seem like he went down quite easily, but yeah, who knows? I don't know. I mean, he's also been worn out. I mean, he has been just getting his shit kicked out of him constantly.
Yeah, but now we know that Angela, being her name, is working for Wyatt. She's a double cross.
Well, we knew that in the end of the last episode.
Well, yeah, but just to recap what happened there, she's not on Teddy's side.
No, she's sort of I mean, she knows more about it. She's not just working. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she's like a lieutenant, so to speak. She's not just a goon.
Yeah, and there was a scene that happens like right around this part, and I really hope you get a screenshot of it because I couldn't necessarily tell what was going on.
Okay. This is her pulling a tick off his cheek, by the way. It was buried in there. Let's see. What?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
so he's cutting something out of the arm, or is he pulling out a piece? Is that like an uplink thing?
He's breaking a piece of the bone out. Look at this weird.
Is it because Wyatt's people are cannibals, or is it because...
I think he was gathering the bone for their masks. You know how their masks are all made of bones and stuff?
But I did notice something else. It seems like in a lot of the scenes with Wyatt's people...
It's called the radial and the ulna, by the way.
Yes, but a lot of times they cut the arms off.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's a deeper meaning to that. Are they extracting something from the arm? Are they taking out like uplink things that Teresa and the board might have put in there that may have been in there from a long time ago? Are they hoarding data? Is there something more to this?
I doubt that's uplink stuff, but it could be. But you'll also recall Lee Sizemore in the previous episode when he's interrupted by Charlotte. He's making a new villain, and his whole thing is eating a leg. So maybe there's some sort of relationship to the... Yeah, but there's definitely something to do with the severed limbs.
Yes. You think this is just purely a scene showing that Wyatt's people reaffirming that they go to cannibalistic means?
If they're cannibalistic, I mean, the arm thing, it definitely... I could see the legs being like a functional... That serves a purpose of like hobbling somebody so that they can't pursue you because maybe they can wake up and, because these robots are pretty tough. Yeah. So it's like when they kill a vampire, you don't really kill him. You just bury his head in concrete and, put his body parts in different states.
It's like if they were going for that, I would imagine they just show him like biting into the arm or something like that, or roasting an arm over a fire. Here it seems he's purposely taking something out.
He's going for the bone. I don't think it's cannibalistic. I think it's decorative. Because there's another shot.
Yeah, there's something. I think there's something more to it, but I have no other evidence to support that.
Well, he's got like a bone stuff on his face, right? Yeah. He works at VFWs and he just needs wings. Is that the wing place? What am I thinking of? Veterans
VF Chang's?
Veterans. No, W3s. It's some wing place called Buffalo Wild Wings. VFW is Veterans of Foreign Wars. That's a whole different thing. Okay, so speaking of bones, Ed Harris is bald as shit. This is all bone. This is a skull.
He's very skull-like, with his sunken cheeks and everything.
Yeah, I was making out with this girl once on a date, and she went to reach for my head, and she hesitated because I'm bald, and I go, "Just touch it. It's fine. It's a skull." And so she starts like slapping my head a little bit, like touching it. I think it was her first skull.
I thought you were gonna say that she pulled off the wig and it was Ed Harris.
Yeah, she called me Ed Harris. Oh, Ed Harris. No, I was just saying like people are understandably weird about touching a man's skull. I don't blame her. I was like, yeah, go ahead, it's fine. You'll realize it's just a hard bone.
Then her hand went bald.
Yeah. Then all the tissue melted off her hand like the end of Indiana Jones, and she went, "Ah!" And then I dropped her off.
Yeah.
It was nice. We dated for a while. So there's Teddy.
That's Teddy reacting to the story you just told.
He's going, what the fuck does this guy think he's doing with his video? Why would he say this? Yeah, so, okay.
Yes, I think he says, where's Wyatt? And
Yeah.
she says, Wyatt has yet to return. I think she says something like, we'll find him where we saw him last.
Yes, that's exactly it. And so where did we see him last? And
yes.
we know Teddy was at the massacre. Now look for a scar. No, it's not Logan. I was hoping there'd be a scar. I like this little rack thing. That's kind of cool. Little apples and stuff.
Looks like
those
a
look like
Pier 1
pomegranates.
thing.
Yeah, like kind of sweet. These are satchels of smaller satchels.
Dolores cans of powdered milk.
Is that what those are?
Nice. I'm just making
They
that
look
up.
like Kleenex boxes. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyway.
but he's saying here that Wyatt went missing when he went out on maneuvers, and he came back with some strange ideas. We've heard this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Told me, Teddy's saying that Wyatt told him that Wyatt needed him.
Yes.
And he said, I couldn't resist it. It was like the devil himself had taken control of me, and we mutinied. We killed every soldier.
Yes. So we show them both committing this atrocity, killing everybody, and we've got, the camera work is important here. I'm mentioning that for a reason because we'll see it again. But Teddy walks through, and he's shooting everybody. He's just cleaning up, and there's also this moment here where Teddy comes up, shoots this guy right in the face. What is this machine? I couldn't tell what.
Is it a phonograph?
Phonograph
Or something like that?
some sort of thing that he cranks it. It's got a wheel. Yeah, I wish I knew what that
like
was.
a music player. I didn't pick up any contemporary. Just say that word.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, music in this episode, it probably went right over my head. But
I didn't notice any either. But they did do a lot of the show music in kind of really gentle, a gentler score, a gentler version of it later.
But to kind of take one half step back, when Teddy says that it was like the devil telling him what to do, speaking directly to him.
Yeah.
Does that mean Wyatt is someone like Maeve, that he is an enhanced host that can speak to the bicameral mind?
I don't know.
Oh, now that is a phonograph. We can see there.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, so we just weren't we didn't see. Oh, this part here. This is the thing that goes up. All right.
So, or does that mean that that Wyatt is possibly one of the creators? That he's someone. He's like it's sort of like when you're playing a video game and there's NPCs and stuff. Sometime one of the devs will log directly into an NPC and control them in real time. Could Wyatt possibly be that? Is he like Dr. Ford taking on an avatar host suit and walking through the world?
Could be that, because my understanding is that Wyatt is a newer character. I don't think his presence and influence goes deeper than Teddy's backstory and his new gang, because he's sort of an instrument, like you said, of Dr. Ford, but he doesn't go deeper like Dolores. I don't think. At least they haven't revealed that.
Wyatt is recently written, but I think he represents something from back in the past.
Yeah, and definitely some sort of extra level of evil and willingness to inflict harm. But also they do this all the time when they want to just wipe out a bunch of people. But there is a confusion here, though, because as we'll see in a second, but this whole shot was crazy. I just shot him in his eye, just blasts open. That was just wacky.
I got it.
Made him sit down for it. You got what? You figured it out?
At one point in the show, it shows that they lose signal when they're using one of their devices.
Yeah.
And it shows that they're saying Wyatt, Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T, why AT&T? Why did we go with AT&T?
Totally. That's it. You fucking
Solved.
figured it out. Yes, and his brother's name was How Verizon.
Yes.
Fuck that. Okay, good one. AT&T. So yeah, Teddy's kind of going through this memory thing, and then did she say something here that triggers him? She says, "No, that's not what it was."
Yeah, he says Teddy finishes the story by saying, "Then Wyatt killed the general, and then he turned on me," and we see Wyatt shooting Teddy in the chest.
Yeah,
but she's saying, "Look at me, Theodore. Don't you remember?" And she's telling him what really happened.
Right. But so then we see the exact same thing.
The town should look familiar to us.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's in the same town.
Yeah, the same town. This all.
So he starts to re-experience it, but then it suddenly shifts to a whole different perspective of this is where Dolores, though this is the massacre Dolores has witnessed.
Where she remembers this.
So she remembers Teddy here. And now look, because remember, this is one of the mysteries that we needed to be answered, was who is the man shooting this woman? who is the guy, because we've seen these screenshots and we've seen this whole moment.
Yeah,
before.
and you were completely right about that figure in the back shooting. I was saying maybe that's someone shooting back at the person who's shooting, but no, that is the person doing the killing.
Yeah,
and
of
you
course.
pointed out the hat. You said it could be William, but I think at some point you did say that might be Teddy as well.
Maybe I did. Thanks for giving me that.
think
I
you
don't
did.
think I deserve it. I did a whole side-by-side thing of William and him, so I don't deserve that at all. But
Some people think that William and Teddy are the same person in the sense that William's consciousness is in Teddy and as punishment, but that's a whole other thing.
oh man, so like William has been split into the good and the evil, maybe, and Teddy
Yeah.
is the good version.
And that maybe, and they're saying that no, the Man in Black is really Logan, and that William dies in the park, and that they upload his consciousness into Teddy, so he can live out his love affair with Dolores and be punished for it over and over and over and over again.
oh wow,
I don't personally think that's true, but I think it's interesting,
yeah, that's super interesting.
and it's
so,
more valid now that we know that the two-time stream
Yes.
time whatever is definite, confirmed.
Yes. So, you know what, though? Okay, so unlike Wyatt, though, Teddy's history does go back deep. Because and this is the killing Dolores witness. So he's in there shooting everybody, and this is sort of similar shots. This is actually the woman we'll see again. We know her. That's Angela. We've seen her. She's the one holding the parasol / umbrella.
Tallulah Riley.
Tallulah Riley, or Riley Tallulah.
Riley Auto Parts.
Temuka, to Dubuque, Iowa. Yeah, so he's just shooting these dudes, and it's sort of the same thing as before. Check it out, James. Umbrella, parasol.
Yeah, one of
All
these.
right.
I was hoping one of these like store signs would say like Squibs and Son,
Squibs and
because
Son?
they use a lot in this show.
Squibs? What's a squib?
It's the explosive charge that they use in
yeah.
filmmaking. Everyone's getting shot constantly.
Yeah, you got to get the bullet spray out there. It's no fun when the bullet gets stuck in the body and doesn't come out.
Yeah.
That's no good. What is this, CSI? We're going to zoom inside and show a knife breaking off inside someone's rib. So he walks up and she's still alive. She's going, oh no. Now, is this a similar thing as her surviving the massacre where she was discovered by Ed Harris and Teddy? Remember that?
Yeah,
Because she's the only person living in this entire massacre. They let her live for some reason. So is she...
people have addressed that.
Okay.
They said that, you know, that one scene where the soldier was dead on or dying on the riverbank?
Yeah.
They said that that was part of an ambush and that he was intentionally there, left somewhat alive so that they could come in and attack at that point in time.
Okay.
And they're saying that that's how Wyatt's people operate, but that wasn't really Wyatt's people, so I don't really see how that relates. But
Yeah.
they're saying that when she was dead, or presumably dead, that she was there as part of an ambush, and that's when they pull her off the ground. That's when the bull, the Minotaur guy, comes out and attacks. So that was part of the ambush.
Yeah,
that was
she
planned
was
for
like
them.
bait there.
Yeah.
Like a double agent or like a sleeper's.
Yeah, and we know
something
that
like
she's transcended her programming in a sense because she's forcing Teddy to remember this because she remembers it.
Right. Well, she was there, and this is all really early. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a lot to chew on.
Yeah, and I hope that when I die, I can hold on to my derby and my cane.
Is that
That's really impressive.
What's a derby? The hat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. I hope when I die, I just have my parasol there to take me into heaven because I'm gonna fly around like Mary fucking Poppins. Okay. Sweet. So yeah, so she's just despondent. She sees him, and Teddy comes right up and doesn't give a shit. Kills her. Fucking murders her. And it's so crazy. So then there he is remembering it with her right there. This is later, obviously.
And he doesn't believe it at first because he's a good guy. How could he be capable of something like that?
Yeah, he's kind of a hero type. But he's realizing he's got this evil old past, and it's all kind of crazy. And Ed Harris is like, whoa, well played, lady. So she gets in close, gives him one of these kissy kisses. And what else we got here, Jan? Yeah. Oh, she stabs him.
Well, yeah, she says something like, you'll do it again, but you're not ready, not yet, maybe in the next life.
That's right. So she's like, yeah, she wants him to kind of rejoin the fold, but meaning the Wyatt gang. But then she just kills him, man. She just guts him up. So we got another stabbing.
Yeah.
Poor old Teddy. James Marsden or something like that. There he is dying on a piece of log, and boy, that's wacky. What does she say to Ed Harris here?
Yeah, I don't know if my notes are off at this point, but something about, I think the Man in Black says that you're looking for a city swallowed by sand. I've been there. The maze is taking you full circle, but the maze isn't meant for me.
Isn't for me, or before is for me?
No, I think Angela says the maze isn't meant for me.
Yes. Yeah. And the city swallowed by sand is the church. And
yes. And I think she says, if you like games so much, why not try one of ours? And then she knocks him out.
Right. She gets in on him, and she bonks his head against the back, and boom, boom, and boom, out he goes. Of course, he wakes up. There he is, coming to. Ed Harris looks around. He's like, oh, no. And he looks up, sees Teddy stabbed. Now, this knife it's his knife.
Yes,
right,
that is Ed Hairless's knife.
Ed Hairless. Ed Hairless. James killing it. Nice job, James. Scalp. So he's sort of coming to. Things are sort of, he's alone. He looks around. He realizes he's got a rope tied around his neck. His hands are tied. And he looks up and he sees this rope. But the camera tracks it up. We see that it's around a branch that is tied to a horse. Uh-oh. Yeah. This is a weird situation.
Is that a headless man?
Yeah, look like it is.
Because when Angela in the prior scene said that, how about you play one of our games, I thought there was going to be a deeper meaning to that. Not literally, hey, you're going to wake up and there's going to be a life or death game attached to it.
Yeah, it's just going to be this Joker scenario here. So he's got to so his two solutions here are to get to the horse somehow, or cut the knife, or you get the knife and cut the rope. Right? I mean, that's the kind of the clearest.
That's his only real
answer.
out.
I was thinking he could somehow get his body weight on the rope, and just, of course, a horse running could easily unseat him. But like, horses are used to being manipulated by tension and pull.
Right.
But obviously, I'm not suggesting they played this wrong. I'm just saying, like, I was trying to think of other ways around it.
The deeper meaning of this, though, is that he knows that she can't kill him.
Yeah.
But she's figured out a way to kill him because she's not directly doing it.
Yeah.
And he's worried because he realizes that at this point. He's like, holy crap, this could kill me because it's not a direct action by them.
Man, you're so much smarter than me. Totally.
But then again, the horses are also hosts.
Okay.
And would the horse be able to kill him by running away, or would the horse even be cognizant of that?
Maybe they wouldn't give the horse that programming. Maybe they,
Or if he did get pulled up and he was risking death, would the horse turn around, look at him, open its mouth, and speak with Ford's voice, going, "You are in a deep and dark slumber. Keep me a cat."
You are in a deep and dark slumber. Could be. Or maybe Dolores gets uploaded into one of the horses and she becomes the horse. So Eddie's, Teddy, he's just fucking dead with that's the salvation there buried in his chest. This was kind of a cool scene though. He's going, whoa, easy fella, easy horse, don't freak out. And then of course, just as he reaches, this is right him grabbing the knife.
It's like a coyote or something goes.
Yeah, I think it was a coyote. Went, some sort of noise spooked the horse and he runs off like a fucking stupid horse. You ever ride a horse? They're the worst animals on the planet.
I love animals, but I hate horses.
Horses are dumb. I worked at a horse barn. I shoveled their shit and picked up their fucking feet and stuff and cleaned off their faces. And I like they're pretty, but they're just stupid, expensive, and dangerous. So then he gets dragged up and poor old Ed Harris gets yanked up. Look like he's got. I should have put a box on that one, huh, James? And there he goes, gets pulled just in time. This is scary. He did get the knife out of Teddy, though, and as his feet get lifted off the ground, he reaches up and cuts it and say, what if he died? Like, that would be weird if they just killed him that way. So he does narrowly escape the trap. And then, out of nowhere, by the way, could we see her in any of these previous shots? Like Charlotte was,
I don't think so.
Yeah. So
but she's out of place because A, she's not supposed to be there. That kind of voice that you hear, you recognize, and B, that's not exactly old-timey footwear.
Yeah, that's corporate sexy shoe, and she is not. Yeah, that's not typical Western
There's safety hazards of wearing open-toed shoes in the park.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
You could get a rattlesnake crawling in on those toes, or even something worse than a rattlesnake, a bug. So yeah, so we're like, whoa, sexy foot. Turns out, of course, it's Charlotte Hale, as I already revealed.
And this is a huge reveal here, though.
Yeah.
The conversation that goes down.
Yes.
Take it away.
You don't want me to take it away. I know she tells him she needs his vote for the board because they're trying to get rid of Ford, but you can.
Yeah, so she basically appears and says, have you ever tried golf? It's maybe it'd be better for your back.
Yeah, that's a good line.
And he responds by calling her Charlotte. He knows her.
Yeah.
And says that, he doesn't like interruptions. He's actually a little bit ticked off to see her there.
Yeah.
And
she's immersion breaking.
Yeah, so she informs him that Teresa died trying to recover our information.
Yeah.
Which means that he's in on it in some way.
Right.
And it kind of also, I wrote down that it proves that the Man in Black is part of the current time stream, but we already knew that because the Man in Black met with Dr. Ford or something like that.
Yeah.
So this kind of reinforces something we already knew, that wasn't a major revelation at all.
Right.
But he says that, do you want my vote to push Dr. Ford out of this position he's in?
Yeah.
Which means that not only is he's a VIP because he's part of the board.
Yeah. He's one of the main people behind the park. An investor or a board member. So yeah.
Which also kind of, I think it hurts the whole William is Man in Black thing, because we were assuming, I don't think there was ever a direct connection between William working for Delos.
Yeah, but William is marrying a family, and earlier in one of the shots with William and Logan, William says to Logan, can you use your connections here at the park to help Dolores get out.
He does say that.
So
but
it's plausible that William's marriage, even though he's an outsider to the family, comes in 30 years ago, you know, over time he can assert some sort of control, either through nefarious means or just that's just how it works out. He just starts working for the company, and because he's in the family, maybe there's not that many people that can take over or somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, at the time, I was just interpreting that as though he's an important, powerful person on the outside, that maybe he'd have connections in the business world. But I like your interpretation better. That makes more sense, and it plays along to the theory that William is a man in black. So I'm good with it. Okay.
All right. Like we said it. Who knew? It's good to find out Judge Judy over here is swayable. I don't know what that means, James. I'm sorry. I just meant like it's nice that you listen to an argument and you take in new information.
So we know he doesn't like people screwing with his story. He doesn't like her interrupting.
Right.
We know he's on the board. We know that's why he's considered to be a VIP by the people in charge, because they don't want to mess with him, because he could fire anyone he wanted to.
And he also said something about how he doesn't really give that much of a shit about Ford. He's like, I'm here for my own thing.
Yeah, he says the narratives I'm interested are not forged. You want to push him out of be my guest, but no more interruptions.
Yeah, yeah. And then he just wanders off, and she's like, geez, this guy's fucking into this D&D, this LARPing.
I was hoping there'd be like a 5-minute shot of her going back down the elevator with a lot of creaking.
Well, it would be funny if like she gets attacked by some bug or some snake or something, or like she breaks a shoe, and then she has to survive out there, and she becomes a leader of the Ghost Nation or something.
She trips and falls down the elevator shaft.
Yeah, the horse comes running by out of nowhere, like that surprise shot from Out of Frame when a bus hits somebody, just clobbered. And so off he goes. He's having a great time. This is how he wants it to be. He feels it's like he's looking for his own sense of being alive. So, but he's doing it through very evil things by murdering and killing and being a maniac. But I guess he's not really killing people. He's killing these flesh robots or whatever, automatons. So off he goes. And then we cut to the old evil red hallway control room. This is where the board top tabletop gaming facility works. Stubbs walking in. Look at these little people, little heads poking out, like little orchestra pits or something. This is Teresa's office up there. Was. Thank you.
Too soon. Sorry.
Teresa, see you later. So yeah, that's kind of cool. It's got this whole park. Now, is there any? I was thinking about this. You notice the shape of this table is circular. You think the maze is circular? You know, whoa, the whole thing is a big maybe. But it'd be too a little silly if it's right in the middle. Hey, look, a bunch of water.
Yeah, it just reminds me like of an Age of Empires map for people who played old PC games.
Yeah, totally. Like there should be some guys fishing here, building weird little traps and stuff. Some little gazelles running around. So maybe this is season 2. They're gonna have a boat. That'll be fun. Cool. So Stubbs is walking in. He comes up, and they've detected a activity that shouldn't be there. An employee ID is activated somewhere in the park.
He's saying that she's saying there's been no employee activity in this sector for weeks, but we're getting a signal that seems to be from Elsie.
Yeah. So we see it. There she is. Behavior tech. Tablet. One tablet. I don't know what that means.
It means that the signal's coming from her employee tablet.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So it doesn't mean that she's alive or there. It's just that her tablet has reactivated.
Yeah. Isn't a tablet like a kind of pill? Do they call pills tablets?
I mean,
Maybe they want to bring her
a glass 1 to 2 tablets daily.
A glass of my favorite carbonated beverage tablet. Or in a pinch, cherry tablet.
Yeah.
All right. So there they go. Stubbs. His name is Stubbs, right? Or did we just
Ashley Stubbs.
Ashley Stubbs. What a great name. And he's like, all right, okay, I'll go check it out. And so, you know what? Something happened in this shot. So we see the elevator going down there. Now look on. I thought I saw something whip through this tunnel here. I should have looked at. I didn't want to replay.
Was it the guy from the camp with his whip?
Yeah, it was the guy with the whip.
He went by cracking it over.
No, but I just thought I saw like something go. I don't know. Maybe I was mad at stuff. It happened super quick. Anyway, he comes up. We see him out in these woods. You know what? They didn't resolve this at all. This is always see this whole scene here.
Yeah.
But he's looking around. He's finding stuff. Let's see. Message content. He's getting closer to the location. Okay, fine. He calls. Nothing. I thought it was interesting.
And this is where AT&T comes into play.
Yeah, because it's got a poor connection.
Yeah.
I like they call it a poor connection.
And it's got to be like something's jamming. This can't be normal because you have a defined area in your park. You would think that you'd have perfect Wi-Fi or whatever signal at any part in this controlled biome.
Yes. Yeah, you would think. And also, a poor connection would be a good name for a dating app for people like me who don't make money.
Yeah, or misconnections.
Misconnections, yeah. Poor connection, and then you have to... write letters because you're poor. All right, sorry, I don't know. I could have made a better joke there. Anyway, here's a rustling. He sees who are the... fuck, it's the Ghost Nation. These guys are nuts. They're scary. They're going to come after him. And he goes, all right, cease all motor behavior. But they don't follow his directive. They're not listening to him.
They do not freeze.
They do not freeze. Of course, he has his gun. And he repeats his order. And then nothing. And then out of nowhere, ow, he gets tackled by a guy. Comes up. And shit. Uh-oh. He's in trouble. Look at that red line.
But you saw like the interior of his barrel was orange, so that was his Comic-Con gun. So it wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Well, the other gun that Clementine had also had that thing on there. Had the red thing. Yeah, so, well, he's been kidnapped, I guess, or just attacked. So I don't know what to make of that. I mean, we'll see. Who's in charge of the Ghost Nation? Who's running those guys? So did Ford... Oh, I bet you Ford. Why not Ford? Ford is, he's enlisted them as sort of a defense because, you know, to protect the secret of Elsie.
That's right. He has a vested interest in that.
Yeah.
And he also wears a vest.
And he wears a vest.
And he's interested in it.
And he wants to watch from his pocket.
Yes.
Which is why he has a pocket watch. So, yeah, we figured it out. So that's a good guess. I think it's Ford. So, all right. So then it's Logan.
And this was confusing, though. It's like the last time we saw them, Logan and William were hugging, and they were making up, and they were hoo-haing and drinking.
Hoo-haing? Yeah. There's a slight misuse of that term.
No, it's like when they hugged, all the guys were like, hoo-ah!
Yeah.
And then they all reveal themselves to be Al Pacino.
Hoo-ah! You killed walking your doggy? If anybody can identify the movie, let me know in the comments what I just quoted. Also, James, you know what? What? Okay, fine.
It was the son of a woman.
I like when James goes, no, I'm not doing that.
Well, I didn't want to take the
Wasn't
prize.
Sense of a woman.
Well, that's where he says hoo-ah.
Yeah, but it's not where he said killed walking your doggy.
Oh.
That's a more obscure Al Pacino quote. Why don't you pay attention? Yeah, just get
He's
focused.
been in at least 2 movies.
James Hurd just got challenged. Now he's going to be completely obsessed with that for the next 20 minutes. No, fuck. Oh, yeah, you know what they, another word for men hugging is called? Arm scissoring. So they're sorry, I don't know why I forced that in there. So yeah, but you're right. They did hug, and they seemed to be in good standing. I mean, things were good. Mm-hmm. And he wakes up, and but you know, he's drunk. I mean, this is what guys do in Vegas. They go to Vegas. One of them falls in love with a stripper. Then they finally have a big fight, and they punch each other a little bit. Then they make up for it. They hug. The stripper gets stabbed. She runs away. Then they get shit faced. This is all Vegas, and then they wake up drunk. This is like the plot of The Hangover. Right? Mm-hmm. So he wakes up, and as we rise up, though, the camera, oh, my head, oh, I'm hungover, oh, boy, what a night, what a party town. And then you look around, and you observe, oh, that's not the kind of partying I was hoping for.
Yeah, and we see his severed arms. And
severed arms?
Everybody's dead. So
is that
to
metal? No, that's not. I don't think so.
It could be, because, I mean, we know that they're in the past.
Oh, yeah? Well...
It would fit.
Maybe. But also wet bone could be shiny, depending on the light conditions, you know what I mean?
And again, no flies.
No flies.
Which makes perfect sense.
That does make sense. See, this is a jar of urine, or liquor, which is just urine before it goes through your body. And, oh, yeah.
Is it metallic?
That looks totally metallic.
Yeah, that's a reveal. That's
interesting.
It makes sense in the context of what we know now.
Well, these guys are all hosts.
And I love how that guy is dead, but he's still holding his beer.
Right here? Yeah. That's what's most important. If you spill your beer, you don't get to drink it in heaven.
Yeah. So we're seeing dismembered body parts, everyone dead, no one left alive except for him. This is Wyatt's calling card. This has got to be Wyatt, right?
Well, one would think. I mean, Wyatt, he's the massacre guy, or Teddy, I guess. But obviously, we're not suggesting Teddy.
Hector was Mr. Massacre.
Hector, yeah, right. But Wyatt is the one that is known for the big killing. Look at this. They knocked over this old chair.
Monsters.
Yes. So he's staggering around the horses. This he's probably dead, I would assume, right? Even though he's sitting up, I don't know.
And the guy in the stool is not dead, though.
No. We will see more of him later. Although I did not see him in this shot, but I am noticing it for the first time here. Yeah. So yeah, wow, this is a party. These guys went overboard a little too much.
You think they actually hired an actor that didn't have a leg for that, or do they just spend the money on CGI?
Probably CGI, I would assume. I don't know. I mean,
or
it's nice that they bandaged his foot up, though. At least that's.
Or was it just like a fake body and
Could
they
be.
They buried him and stuck his head there.
Or they dug a hole and buried his foot, and he just has his leg bent. Although I don't think that would be good for your leg. So yeah, pull back, the camera comes out. Yeah, everybody, like everyone has there's definitely a lot to the whole severed body part thing. This is not blood. This is like a fluid, but maybe it's a spilled drink or something. I don't know. Hard to say.
You think there'd be a lot of blood around a leg cut off like that? And that's a clean cut.
Fairly clean cut, yeah. Yeah, well, we could reattach the hand to the leg and put legs on the hands, and these guys could all have, become circus sideshow freaks.
I think that right there is a subtle thing showing that not all the hosts at this point in time even had blood. I mean, he has a little bit on his chest right there, but that's a great catch.
I don't know. I suppose there's something to it. I mean, it's obviously deliberate, but this guy's... I mean, they probably have like blood like the Terminator, like they just enough to bleed so they look realistic, because it's alarming when you cut a guy and there's no blood. Nothing worse than that. All right, well, everything's crazy here. So we pull back. It's a little Maze-esque.
Yeah.
Would you say? Like,
I was expecting it to pull up further and further and further until we get like this White Walker Game of Thrones pattern reveal, but that didn't happen.
Not really. Yeah, it's not really. I do like that they all had to kind of like, all right, guys, positions, dead body positions. This guy's like, is this good? Want me to just put my arms out? Yeah, sure, that's great. Okay, cool. I don't know why I said cool. It's not. It's horrifying. Don't have to block any of that out.
But then we hear a voice, and it says, "You're awake."
You're awake. And who is it? Old W. Will.I.am. Well, he isn't. He is gone fucking crazy. Because it turns out he's the one that did it. Look, James, is that the photo?
I don't know.
What do we got in his pocket there? I don't know. I wish we could.
It could be. I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, I guess it would. It's this woman he's going to marry. But
the whole thing, when I was seeing the scene, I was expecting it to cut to Will Ferrell saying, well, that escalated quickly.
Well, that escalated quickly. I don't know how that... Is that Anchorman?
Yeah.
Anchorman sucked. I hated it. I fucking hated it.
Get out.
All right. See you later.
No, don't.
I would watch it again. I would definitely check it out. But I was just like, really? This is the movie everybody keeps quoting? It's fucking terrible.
I love Lamp.
I know. Most people like it. So, okay. So, William, though, is like... I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, all right. You convinced me.
I can tell you what he said.
What?
He said, "You said this place was a game. Last night I finally understood how to play it."
Nice quote.
You don't call the shots anymore.
Whoa, it's like Jimmy Simpson's in the room. Jeez.
I'm going to go find Dolores, and you're going to help me.
Okay, so he's taken over. That's fucked up. Look at this big knife he's holding. It's not even dirty. Bloody, I mean, he probably cleaned it on one of the corpses. Dipped it in the alcohol to sterilize it or something. But yeah, William, this is a huge turn for this character.
Yeah, I mean, is he no longer a White Hat William? Did he do this? I mean, because was this brought on by the desecration of Dolores and him seeing her inner workings?
I mean, okay, so there's really only two ways you could do this to people, is either if you're a complete maniac, killer, murderer, nutcase, or if you don't think they're human. And as he was shown, it was that Dolores isn't human.
But the whole thing is that he says, I'm going to find Dolores.
Well, I mean, not that he wants to do this to Dolores, but that it was revealed that the hosts are video game characters, basically. Like, you would do this in a video game. You would just kill everybody around you in a video game. Not that you would, James. I know you're a gentle soul, so am I. But, we all play Grand Theft Auto. You're blowing off people's heads and stuff. So it's almost... But it's either that... Not either. It's not exactly binary, but clearly a major shift in the way he perceives the host has gone around. Also, unless you have something to say to that?
Well, yeah, because the whole thing that this was brought on by him wanting to go and save Dolores even more so than ever. Yeah. Because he realizes that she's special, that there's life in her, that she is human-like. You'd think that revelation for him would make it even more impossible for him to do something like this. Because they're hosts just like she is.
I don't think
he doesn't know them personally. Well, how does he know that these people
That's exactly my point. He doesn't know them. He knows her personally.
But how does he not know that they aren't capable of the same thing?
Of her experiencing the same, of them experiencing similar...
If she can blur the line between human and host that much for him, how can he bring himself to reconcile killing that many hosts?
Well, it's totally possible, because he doesn't look at them as people, or he went crazy. He became evil.
And why was he hacking off body parts, too, to see how they worked? He was like, oh, those metal guts were cool. Let me see some more.
Maybe just, like I said earlier, to hobble them so they can't chase. I don't know. That's not a good reason.
It just seems like his change moving towards a Man in Black mentality came about very quick.
It's extremely drastic that he would do it to this many, like to a whole field of dudes.
To this extent.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see them taking this turn with William and having him kill like one or two in a fit of like passion or heat, where he does it to save somebody and then realizes that it didn't feel as bad as he thought because he realized they're actually not real. But to do it to the entire thing, although I guess these guys, there's a vengeance to it. There's a self-preservation element there as well. Kill them all so that they can't hurt you. I think there's a lot of factors at play as far as that goes. I also would point out, though, it's not like he went ninja and turned into Neo from the Matrix and really fucked these guys up all in one big beautiful sweeping motion like an Ang Lee film. He probably just took his time because they can't hurt him.
Right. Yeah.
They wouldn't hurt him. So that's even more creepy to me, though. It's like one thing to sort of go into action mode and just like, hiya, stab, stab, gut, chop, chop. But he probably like fought one and killed him, and then shot him and fought another one, killed him. Like, because obviously this many hosts could overpower him if they like resisted.
I mean, we do know that they can punch him and knock him out and take him hostage, so he must have done some impressive moves.
Yeah. Or they were all sleeping, maybe. They went through into their...
Unless, I guess he just stabbed them all quietly in their sleep, and they all just happened to sleep in a circle in the middle of town.
Maybe there's a deleted scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a great SNL skit. Just have a guy murdering a bunch of people with no jokes at all. So, yeah, so he pushes it, but this is where he says what you said, like, you're going to help me find Dolores, right?
Yeah, and then his last line is, and don't call me Billy.
And don't call me Billy. And this guy goes, and I am the hand of the king. That totally is the hand of the king, man. Come on.
It looks like it.
How could that not be... Come on, it's HBO.
Yeah, it's HBO. Maybe they just use the same prop department.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, so it's interesting. There you go.
And then this is the point where he says, we're going to have to switch hats now. And he goes, yeah, we are.
Yes, and that's something, good point. I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because that did seem like the whole early indication that these two were either going to switch hats or William's hat was going to go from white to black at some point.
I think he said the wedding's going to be really awkward now.
You're not saying the toast anymore, buddy. You're groomsman number 4 now.
Yeah.
I'm changing the color of your dress. You're wearing taupe. Okay, so off he goes. And William has taken on this posture. He's holding the knife. By the way, did we get a look at the knife? Is that Ed Harris's? It's a similar thing.
Yeah, there have been screenshots from the past that shows that the knife is very, very, very similar, if not identical.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the knife. I think it is. I think the butt is the same.
Always looking at butts.
I like butts. They're my favorite part. Next to I like everything between the toes and the forehead and top of the head. Okay, sorry. All right, let's keep going. So Dr. Ford, there he is in front of Gonad Heaven, talking to Bernard. Bernard is having his mental dream recollection fest. He's having a fun time. No, I wouldn't say fun though. He's there with his dead kid, dying kid, reading Cinderella. What a fucking...
The thing we made a whole video about, Alice in Wonderland.
Shut up. reading this
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Here he is reading Stephen King's It to him. Stephen King's Information Technology. And Charlie starts to collapse and fall asleep. We've already seen this happen before. And he's, oh fuck, no, my son, no, quick, hurry, nurses, he needs more bandages on his hair. So obviously this is trouble. Nobody wants to see a kid die. It's sad.
Yeah, and this is the part where my iPad screwed up and highlighted about 3 paragraphs of notes I'd taken and replaced them all with a typo.
Oh, motherfucker.
So I'm...
Goddamn Steve Jobs. All right, so we might not have the exact quotes like we have for some of the stuff. But you'll remember.
I'm going to go off the cuff.
You got a Dolores quality brain. That's why you're such a lovely...
I'm going to go psycho and kill you.
Yeah, that's also why you love wearing a blue dress and painting sunsets. But it also... cuts to Bernard's memory.
Yes,
here.
I do remember this.
Okay.
This is the scene where we've seen it before, where Maeve is confronted by Dr. Ford and Bernard in the diagnostics.
Yeah.
And rather than shut down after having the music played to calm her, she stabs herself in the neck to kill herself.
Yes, but the reason she was brought in, though, in this time was because this is right after she was attacked and her daughter was killed by Ed Harris's character.
Right, and it looks like there's some sort of like oil-like stuff leaking out of her.
Well, it's blood. Blood, you know, it's reflective.
It foams up. Well, I guess yeah, that's the lighting.
It's just the lighting. Right. Yeah, it's called glare. Okay, buddy.
I thought it was like, beer foaming up.
Beer foam. Yeah, she pooped up some foam.
That's how they test your blood alcohol level.
They make you stab yourself in the neck and then they taste your blood.
But Bernard was a little shocked by this. He was not taking this well because he was because at this point Bernard didn't know that he was not real.
Yeah, he's Dr. Ford's helper.
And he was
very close behavior guy.
Yeah, he was saying, how in the world, how was she able to kill herself over memories that you just previously wiped?
Yeah.
So he's acknowledging that these memory wipes are not effective.
Right.
Either that or Maeve is special and she, transcends that.
Yes. Well, and that would speak to the power of pain and grief to sort of transcend, to create the definition and the driving motivation behind them as being truly conscious.
Right.
right? Did Dr. Ford explain? Does he give Bernard a satisfactory answer at all to that?
I don't quite remember what he says to him, but I do know that Bernard tries to reconcile it in his mind, and it starts wigging him out. He starts going into like a glitch mode because he can't figure out how this kind of a response was warranted, given the fact that he knows that she should not be capable of that.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And so as he's doing that, now we're back in the other mode here with Bernard kind of waking up with Clementine in the room. So yeah, he's glitching it out and it's all fucked up. And but Dr. Ford is kind of like, yeah, bitch, I knew this was going to happen. So he's overwhelmed. He's overwhelmed by it all. It's all coming into his head, and it's freaking him out. And it's a total mistake to deal with Dr. Ford at all. I mean, I guess he's got to do something. I
mean, Dr. Ford doesn't really have much compassion in terms for hosts. We've seen him cut the face of hosts. We've seen him take the counterpoint to the part that Arnold wanted to find true consciousness. He just wanted to. In a way, he wants to find true consciousness too, I think, but he was at odds with Arnold over the path to take to do that.
Right. Yeah, and the risks associated with the search, I guess. So then this is the memory he's experiencing of when Dr. Ford, actually he confronts Dr. Ford about, hey, I don't think you've told me everything about what's going on.
About Arnold.
Arnold.
And this is the scene in the past where Dr. Ford took him over to the chalkboard and pointed to Arnold's theory with the pyramid. And I noticed that the pyramid's not there.
Well, no, because he erased this thing and drew it himself.
During that scene he does that?
Yeah, for sure. And so, but he's explaining this all. And then he's talking about the different original hosts who are influenced by the Arnold, right? Isn't that kind of what it was? Because we cut to Dolores. But it's all voiceover of Dr. Ford in these shots. Explaining, you got to help me here, James.
Well, it's more so that we're hearing dialogue from past scenes that we've already seen. Yeah. So here he's talking about Arnold and... about the bicameral mind even, and the pyramid and the search for true consciousness and things like that. Yeah. It's nothing new per se, but it gives new meanings based on the other scenes we're being shown at this point in time.
Yeah, but he pulls up this photo. This is obviously huge. This is a major source look in this shot.
Because as we've theorized before, that big intentionally blank spot on the right has to be something that Bernard is programmed not to be able to see.
Yeah, and everybody originally thought that the man in the photo next to him was turned out to be his dad. And
that's what we were supposed to think.
Yeah, right.
That man in the photo was Arnold, but it wasn't. It was the father.
Gosh, it's almost like the creators of this show are the puppet masters, and we are the puppetees.
How dare they?
That's right. So so we're still talking, and we're seeing Dolores kind of finding her home, and this is connecting to the pain in the past, and I think it's going on about memories and stuff, and right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh, good shot. That's real. That's cute. So this is back in the room, and so it's all kind of blending in. Like we're jumping from one person to another.
Very critical scene. Thank you, iPad, for deleting my notes.
Sorry, guys. I know there's more. Should we watch it again? Okay, quick edit. You guys didn't notice any difference, but James and I just took a pause and rewatched this scene that we're talking about. A whole bunch of information is revealed, and we wanted to get it right. James's notes got a little goofed up, so we went the extra mile. Hiya! Okay, James. So, where did we pick up off here?
One major thing that we glossed over was when Maeve was dead on the ground in the diagnostic room.
Okay.
He explains to Bernard that the reason she was able to overcome her programming...
Let's just back up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the reason that she kind of freaked out was because part of her cornerstone narrative was disrupted.
Yeah.
And we learned that the cornerstone point of a host's backstory is the pivotal part of which the entire... mind of the host revolves. That's where the narrative begins, and that's where it is like the core of the melon. Do melons have cores? I don't believe they do.
Yeah, they got the seed shit you scoop out.
Yeah, I don't eat melons. I guess every piece of fruit has a core.
Yeah, you can eat the melons, by the way. Watermelon, my parents lied to me. They don't actually grow watermelons in your stomach.
No.
All right, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
So basically we're getting into dialogue where Dr. Ford is telling him things about the host's minds, about how before the park opened, they were going to try to achieve true consciousness.
Yes, that they had 3 years before anybody came in.
To develop before anyone came in whatsoever. Yeah. And that part of that development was part of Arnold's pyramid with the bicameral mind.
Right.
And they go into the bicameral mind being... a two-edged sword, where some people hear the thoughts of the bicameral mind and they interpret it as their own thoughts, and therefore they follow suit and they obey. But there's an other half who hear it as the voice of God, and it drives them crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we now know as Dolores approaches this town, we get to the point where we're seeing the church eventually.
Right. So we do. This is where we kind of took the break right here. And so yeah, Dr. Ford though in this shot with Dolores coming into town, he's talking about I forget. Go ahead. You go.
I think that's what he was talking about, like the mind and the search for consciousness and the creation of consciousness.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. So she's not stabbed. So we're jumping to the part where she is sort of exploring her memory. She's drawn to this new home because she's been here quite a bit before. As Dr. Ford is getting into some of the stuff James is saying, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So where are we at now? So we follow Dolores into the town.
Yeah. And this is right as he's saying that some hosts tend to malfunction when this kind of programming is used for them, because we've heard in a prior episode that they misinterpret what they hear as the voice of God. They can't reconcile, and it messes with their programming, and they have to be dealt with.
And he says some of them had very colorful responses
to that.
To it. So we follow Dolores into the church. Now, this is a very quick part of a flashback in a previous episode that we saw where she enters the church. And it's actually a pretty substantial thing going on here. We could really talk about this. We could do a whole video about just this freaking church. So she enters this place. And so there's a religious component to the bicameral mind. I mean, or at least there's a God component. I don't know if you'd call that religious, but it part of what drove the insanity and for the ones that needed to be kind of taken out of the population, as in episode 3 when Dr. Ford first explains it to Bernard, they say that they became lunatics. And as she enters the church, we finally see what's going on in here. It's a whole bunch of people. Now they're drawn to this church because their bicameral mind experimentation. Oh, by the way, also it's important to note that it switched into her blue dress at this point. So this is sort of like her going into the POV or the memory of the blue dresses earlier.
In Alice going through the looking glass.
I suppose so. Alice going through the praying hole, and which is another word for church doors.
Yeah.
And so, but these people who come to the church are the ones that have issues, because as she walks through the room, they're like twitching and kind of...
They're talking to themselves.
They're talking to themselves, and they're sort of distressed, and she's kind of looking around, and she's like, wow, this is fucked up. And there's Angela and Tallulah Riley. There's the woman. She is the one who's all scratched up in that one shot, which we saw earlier. And that's also Armistice, right?
Yes. Snake Tattoo Lady.
Snake Tattoo Lady. So this is pre-tattoo.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder, though, did Ford send Wyatt / Teddy / Killer back to this part to clean house? Because all the people in the church were the ones that were gunned down outside.
Oh. Wow. Oh, maybe they emptied the church and just killed everybody there? Yeah, that could be. Maybe that was their way of getting them all in. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. But I think there's just a lot of allegory to it, though, like that not in an anti-religious way or anything, but just that they gather to worship what they think. It's sort of like they're worshipers, but they're actually struggling with their own identity. They're struggling with their own thoughts, with their own sanity, with their own programming.
And Dolores was drawn here as well, but to a deeper extent, where she's not completely incoherent.
Yeah, she's not out of her mind like all these people are. But there's just a lot of layers here to what drives worship and religion and all that stuff I just mentioned.
So basically what you're saying is that anyone who goes to church is crazy. Got it. Moving on.
You want to move on from that? No, I don't believe that. Anybody who tries to legislate their fucking religion into our laws is crazy. You can kiss my ass. But if you need religion to do your own thing and make your life meaningful, go for it. That's fine. I support it. I'm all for it. But that's just not my deal. Anyway, but it's interesting. I mean, I still look at religion as a human experience. That's the thing. That's what I see when I see prayer and worship. I'm not seeing a supernatural event occurring. I'm seeing a human being trying to do the best they can with the life that they've got on this fucked up planet that we're all stuck on together.
Right. And there's a point where Ford is talking to Bernard. I think it's already passed in part of the dialogue where he tells Bernard that there's really the human consciousness is not this glowing bright golden beacon on a grassy hill that everyone serves to go towards. Is not this perfect being, this perfect entity or concept.
Yeah,
it's a messed up, mucky.
But that's about to we get to that part when they go down. But
what serves into what you're saying, that the hosts are human-like. They seek comfort where there's confusion, where there's despair.
Yes,
so,
and they're drawn to their creator, which in times of desperate need, a lot of people do too. You tend to be easier to recruit into a cult or a religion if you're in a desperate place in your life. No one's like on their way to a ski trip and gets talked into a fucking cult. You know what I mean?
That's why we keep going back to McDonald's.
Yeah, because we're hoping. I would love if a good. I'd love if I get into a cult. I just want to be in the bottom bunk. It's hard to get off and up on those top bunks. So and I want to be the guy that plays guitars and gets banged 19-year-olds. So, but that's the leader. That's the leader of the cult. Why else start a cult? So, but what I'm saying though is that in this show, they really are at their creator's house. This church is, as we find out, where Dolores goes into the confessional booth. That this church is a access point to the creators, to the people who actually did create them and program them and turn them into who they are and create, you know. But on the other side of that is Maeve's hell. So there's the creator thing, there's the hell thing, and so she's actually entering what some of them would call a hell, which is also intense. I'm too stupid to actually articulate this in a meaningful way.
In order to get the whole Delos Corporation is built upon layer upon layer upon layer of floors, so you can look at this as Dante's Inferno, the different levels, the circles of hell.
Yeah, totally. And the tabletop thing is a circle, the maze is a circle, Ed Harris's head is a circle, so we're totally, it's all coming together. But I think there's a lot of interesting stuff here behind this religion stuff, like behind the kind of the lunatic, because I'm not trying to say that the lunatics are all religious people. That's not fair. It's all good. Go for it. You know, wear your necklaces and drink your fake blood and, you know, eat your crackers and all that other shit. Do Catholics, I mean, do they do confessionals in non-Catholic religions? Isn't that just only Catholic only, or do they do a whole bunch of other stuff? Oh, James, you read it. James just Googled.
Remember when we were going back talking about the title of an episode being Contrapasso and how it related back to Dante's Inferno?
Yes.
I think this maybe there is some sort of symbolism to that.
Well, explain what you're looking at.
Well, it says, you know, it's the Latin contra and patior, suffer the opposite, refers to the punishment of souls in Dante's Inferno.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably, we heard someone say that there was a more elegant, more direct translation for that, which we missed. But I think there is something to be said for Dante's Inferno about the structure of Delos, about the religious connotations, about the hell that Maeve is talking about.
Yeah, man, this show really hits on a lot of fucking levels, doesn't it? Way more than
83 to be precise.
Way more than Merlin on Netflix, which I've been enjoying greatly lately.
Well, you alone.
It's so bad. I love it. I love horrible TV. Okay, so she gets into the confessional thing, and
this is Alice going down the rabbit hole.
Indeed, wearing her blue dress. Priests wear white shoes. And I was expecting Stephen Colbert to appear over here. That would have been funny. This confessional thing is nuts, man. I can't imagine having that fucking tell some creep about my fucking sins. I jerked off to porn, and I saw a billboard and got a boner. I thought about killing my parents. You know, like, come on, get out of here. You don't have the answers. You've never had prom night priest guy. Like, man, you know, who knows? All right, whatever. Okay, so she goes and all of a sudden she's on an elevator and she's moving down. The thing slides right down. She's in an access to hell. But this is super interesting is that she emerges and we come right down here on the set of 28 Days Later. No, I'm just joking. So she comes out to this hallway with bodies everywhere. There's bodies on gurneys. There's bodies on the floor. There's papers. So it's all pretty fucked up and, you know, things are askew, so to speak, and she comes out, the door wall worn, you know, this is an aged place. This place, it looks like it's been this way for quite a while. There's bodies everywhere, and we figure it out pretty easily, pretty quickly, that this is like one of the original Deloses. This is where they developed the park, probably the first one.
And looking at this shot right here, how do you know that these people in the hallway are dead are hosts?
Because there's a leg sticking out of the wall.
Oh, there's a leg, but I mean I don't see any blood.
Oh yeah, no blood. Oh yeah, good catch there. No blood. Yeah, this guy died from putting his finger in the light socket. That you shouldn't do because he's mostly metal. So you know that's obviously dumb. So then,
and that's why the lights are flickering now.
Yeah. So, but what is This is where Dr. Ford was saying the stuff about the human mind is a corruption.
Yes, it's not the shining golden beacon in the distance that you're striving for. It's a corrupt, it's a tarnished, it's a dirty, terrible thing.
Yeah.
And it's a fate that we've condemned you to, Bernard, because there's no cognitive difference between me and you in that sense. If you want consciousness, you've got to take all the negativity that goes with it, even though we tried to make you as perfect as possible.
Yeah, it's almost like he's saying, in order to make you conscious, we had to make you feel the same pain we feel.
Yeah, we had to make you flawed.
Oh, this is so crazy. This is like if God told you he's sorry, almost. Not that he's feeling sorry, but it's almost like he's like, I made you in my image. You're in pain. I'm in pain. We are all in pain. Wow, that's fucked up. It's probably the closest description of religion I've ever heard. Yeah, so there she goes. She's looking around, and she's a visitor to this. She's
Yet it's hard to tell what time span this is taking place in, because she's in the church, the things are bugging out there.
Yeah.
The elevator goes straight down into this level, so it makes me wonder if this is modern times and they just didn't pay their power bill, or if something, because there's papers, this disarray, it looks like something happened here.
Well, this is definitely, it looks like it was abandoned in a hurry, and they just left behind what they didn't need.
Or there was perhaps some sort of a struggle, some sort of revolt, some sort of uprising,
like
or
it happens
incident.
over and over.
Yeah, why would they, we theorized in an older video, why would they keep all these floors quarantined? Why would they keep them all, inaccessible?
Well, it's still accessible. I mean,
well,
quarantine's
to most people.
Right.
I assume you need some sort of administrative privileges to get down to that floor, because they go down there as like a SWAT team almost.
Yeah, you don't renovate your house by building a 3rd story and then a 4th story and a 5th. You fix up, you clean up the fucking 1st and 2nd
it's sort of like the narratives. They cover over everything and build on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly what it is. It's a metaphor for that. So no, she's in, I don't know what time frame exactly, but the blue dress was her visiting the old memory that drove her here. So that's sort of the driver of why she's exploring this. But I don't know where this relates to the part where she got stabbed by Logan, which I think
it's hard
was a
to tell
memory.
because there's so many different repeating loops that
it's probably safe to say this is after that. I mean, it's definitely safe to say this is after her getting stabbed there. Yeah. So it's difficult to say exactly what time frame she's in right now.
Yeah, I think when it happened with William, it was probably the first time.
Yes, but as you see here, as the camera tracks her along this hallway, it switches, and now she's back in the blue dress, and she's remembering being in the room while all this stuff was going down.
Yeah, back when it was in use during its heyday.
And I think this is the same lady that told Maeve she's doing a good job in that one dancing sequence.
Could be.
Just for some reason, it just seemed like the same lady. She looks over to Stephen Ogg, a guy known who played Trevor in GTA 5, but he's
for non-video game people, that is
Trevor from GTA 5.
No, for non-video game people, GTA is.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. And 5 stands for V.
Yes.
Yeah, and so she's just, it's very similar to a lot of shots we've seen in the updated offices with the big glass partitioned rooms and stuff like that. And then we get a great shot. I love this. Dr. Ford, young Dr. Ford comes stammering, not staggering or stammering. Those are the wrong words.
He's walking with purpose.
I think sachet is the word I was going for. He did have a sassy gait. I liked it a lot. He whoop, 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 whoop. He's in charge. This is the boss walking.
Pretty good CGI.
Yeah, good CGI. They did a good job putting a young face on some dude that had a similar. And as he's walking in, she notices him and she sees, and we hear Arnold, we need to talk.
And it seems like they took some of the raspiness out of his voice too.
Yeah, a little bit of a younger lumber. What do you call it? Timber. I don't know the words for your voice stuff. So yeah, they got like dentist office records there, right? And so she follows him through, and she's coming through the thing, and she goes into the door. By the way, James, in this shot, that's the I'm pretty sure that's Peter Abernathy. There is one shot where he's in one of the earlier episodes where he's kind of gesticulating. Is that a word?
Yes, gesticulating is a word.
Pantomiming. Pantomiming. Thank you. And Parcheesiing.
Now, have we already passed the part where you had that huge, really good catch about a nameplate?
No, that's right here. Oh, we didn't
her
get
head's
it.
blocking it.
Damn it. So if this shot here, that's an R. It says Arnold Weber.
Yeah. So whoever came up with that theory a long time ago, slam dunk.
Yeah. Let me back up one. Maybe it's not there. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it says Arnold Weber for sure. We saw it. We just watched it again.
And the significance of that is
Bernard Lowe
is an anagram
for Arnold Weber,
yes.
Which was like, that's one of those theories that just fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Someone figured it out, but no one knew that the last name was Weber.
And again, it happened so quickly. I'm assuming that they're going to come back to it at some point and make an official reveal, but
yeah.
But
this is one of those details that proves how deliberate the creators of the show are, for sure. Yeah, so she follows him in, and she goes into this doorway, and it turns out to be a stairway down. Now, do you recall what Dr. Ford is saying here? He's answering questions to Bernard.
Well, I think at this point, Bernard is saying that he wants to go back and he wants to figure out who Arnold is. But
then he asks him about Charlie.
Yeah,
why did you give me Charlie?
Yeah, exactly. Why did you give me this pain?
Yeah, why would you do this to me?
And he tells him, I think he says that Arnold always believed that backstories, at least the most effective and real ones, are ones that are centered around pain.
Yeah.
And Bernard comes to realize that he says, oh God, Charlie is my cornerstone.
Yes.
And that everything that is me is built around that.
Is built around that. Which really speaks to something that I truly believe about people, that identity drives almost every decision that they make, either belonging to a group that they feel comfortable and safe with, or wanting to belong to a group that will either elevate their status or make them feel comfortable and safe. Like, everything comes down to identity. If you're ever confused about why someone's behaving in a way that seems weird to you, just do an evaluation of their identity and who do they want to impress, or who do they want to feel like they're associated with. A lot of times, and if you're lucky, you're born or you're in an identity that's easy and defended by the culture. If you're not, you're in one of the more marginalized groups of identity people. Not that people belong or you're required to be stuck in one identity or another, but generally, in my opinion, when I look at the way people make decisions, because it's often confusing, it never really makes any sense. Usually there's major motivations on identity, and in this show, identity and pain are kind of the same thing.
Right, and we know from an older episode that shortly before, Dr. Ford says that shortly before Arnold died, he suffered a great personal tragedy.
Yeah.
And at this point, he said that the narrative I gave you, in a way, is an homage to Arnold, in a way.
Right.
So we don't know if Arnold had the same exact thing, that Arnold actually had a son, Charlie, who passed away, who died of some way, or if this is something that's trying to emulate pain that Arnold felt in the past.
Well, we also don't know who Dolores is.
We don't.
What inspired the original creation of her as
Still
one
a
of
mystery.
the first hosts or something. So he goes, what does he say here? What's going on in these shots, James? She sits down, right? She's just drawn to this chair. I mean, this is where we're leading up to a very big reveal.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, we get to I think at this point it's when Bernard starts telling Dr. Ford, he's like, I want to go further with this. I want to go back.
Oh, right,
I need to find Arnold. I need to find questions. I need to find answers to the questions I have of who I am, what makes me who I am.
Yeah, he says, put me back in. And he's like, all right, fucking weirdo. You want to keep doing this? Let's do this. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, I think he says, if I'm going to reach Arnold, I need to go back to my very first memory. Send me back.
Yeah, the first memory. So then we cut to old Band-Aid on the hair, Charlie. And it's a sad scene. He's dying. He's getting pulled back by the workers, the red-shirted hospital nurses and stuff. And they're trying to save Charlie. It's a traumatizing thing. This is a reliving the painful thing that defines his identity, his cornerstone. But then he pulls back and he kind of stops, and he's experiencing his memory with a new awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness, and he basically freezes them.
Yeah,
right?
he says freeze or stop, everybody, and so they all just stop, and then they leave, or do they go away or something? I don't recall exactly. I think they just go away.
He drags them to the recycle bin.
Yeah. He pushes them all out the window. He walks them up to the roof and then shoves them off the edge. But then he sits down, and Charlie...
He says, like, reactivate or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, we're gonna just... And then he just explains to him, go ahead, you got more here?
Yeah, he says something at first that I thought was going to be really creepy, but it turned out not to be. He says, I always thought you had my eyes, but it's not true. You have no one's eyes. And I was expecting it to cut back to him with, like, two hollow sockets and him screaming with flies coming out of his mouth.
Or holding eyes.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
He said, it's a lie. You're a lie, Charlie. This pain, the pain of your loss, I long for it, revisit it, but it's the only thing holding me back. I have to let you go.
Yeah.
And then Charlie says, Dad, listen, open your eyes. And he's almost smiling when he says it.
Yeah, that's right here. That's him whispering into his ears. Yeah.
And then we see Bernard open his eyes.
Right here.
For the very first time.
So now this is his original memory. Charlie was the vessel he used to get to his original first time memory. He opens his eyes. He kind of flutters them or looks around. And who does he see? Slightly younger Dr. Ford.
Yeah, it's exactly what I wrote. Slightly younger Ford.
I'm pretty sure this is not CGI. I think this is a makeup job. Maybe a little bit of both, but it's probably mostly makeup. And he looks over to him. And Dr. Ford says something like, welcome back, right? Or like,
yeah,
hello.
well, he says, hello, my old friend.
Hello,
because
my old friend.
Arnold's been dead for a very long time.
Right.
And he's now reconnecting with Arnold through his creation of Bernard.
Yes. So we see Bernard sit up, and where does he say, I'm Bernard?
No, what happens is he first starts going through trying to make him more lifelike. He stands up, he gives him...
The very first steps, this is a very deliberate shot, obviously. I mean, like, he takes his very first steps onto the ground. Go ahead.
I was hoping he'd walk like a toddler and
Jeffrey
start
Wright,
staggering all around.
Jeffrey Wright's rocking a pretty okay nude bod there, right? That guy's doing better than I would have guessed.
Yeah, he could have touched it up with some CGI.
No, he doesn't. He looks fine, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying they could have touched him up with some CGI.
Oh, you're saying they could have made him look better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be a body double, too. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he'd be in... maybe he's a younger... well, anyway, whatever. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
so he says, final touches and gives him the glasses or a replica of the glasses that Arnold used to wear back in the day.
Yeah.
And he puts them on right away, and he says, no, actually, that's not right. Arnold always took the moment to contemplate, to clean his glasses, to contemplate what he was thinking next. He used it as a moment of calm.
Yeah.
Do it again, try again.
So he takes the glasses off and clean.
Yeah.
We've been seeing him do this the whole whole show.
It's the little nuances that he's programming in that he inevitably gets Bernard to start programming into others.
Right. Which makes him such a good behavioral head of behavior, because he's the one who kind of invented all the behavior in a way.
Yeah.
Because as we learn, and I've already given away, but people already know that.
Yeah, this is the point where he says, it's not right to use his name. What should I call you? What about Bernard?
And he goes, yeah, Bernard, I like that.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
And then he, the next important thing is he shows the picture, the full, complete picture that we see for the first time.
Yes, that's coming up here in a couple more screenshots. Yeah, there is the photo. He reaches and he hands it to him. He looks down, he sees it, and this is the big moment. Oh!
Yep. Empty space
shit.
was for a reason.
Yes, that wasn't just horrible framing. It's because he can now see the truth of the photo, which he wasn't able to before, and it turns out, not a surprise, but also a very big reveal, because it confirms probably the biggest theory in the show.
Yeah.
That Bernard is Arnold.
And I was thinking a long time ago, it's like, well, Bernard can't be Arnold because Arnold died 30 years ago, and that people would notice he hasn't aged. But no, he created Arnold, he created Bernard not all that long ago. He was only slightly younger when he created him.
Right.
So people wouldn't necessarily be tuned into the fact that this person is not aging.
Yeah, and there's no one around that knew Arnold anymore, other than hosts. So maybe like Dolores will see Bernard and be like, hey, wait a minute, I know you.
That does happen in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what. So then is this where she says you're Arnold?
Yeah,
there's a moment here.
Yeah, so he shows the photo and says, after such a long absence, it's good to have you back, finally.
Yeah.
So, and this is the scene where Dolores looks at Bernard and says, lovingly almost, Arnold.
Yeah, she seems really fond of him.
Yeah, so that's could be something important, because we know Arnold created Dolores.
I'm going to guess that Arnold and Dolores were married.
I'm gonna side with you on that one.
Yeah,
that seems very logical.
That seems to fit the whole thing, because especially the way she reacted with that kind of like warmth to him.
Yeah.
Also, it would also help explain why Dr. Ford would put her in such a horrible loop too.
Yeah.
As some sort of, because he hated but then he created Arnold. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's the ultimate, power play to recreate your enemy as your own slave. Is that really a sign of love and respect?
That's true. Yeah, and then just use them and that's a good point. But then she has a realization here that she did something terrible, right?
She says, I've been looking for you. You told me to follow the maze. That would bring me joy, but all I found was pain and terror. Help me. And Bernard's saying, I can't help you.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, you can't, because she's saying there's nowhere that's safe. He tells her, you have to remember, I can't help you. Why is that, Dolores? And she says,
because I killed you.
Because you're dead. Because you're just a memory. Because I killed you.
Wow.
Whoa. Didn't we make a theory video about Dolores killing Arnold?
Yes, we did.
Hey.
Not that we invented that theory, but we analyzed it. Yeah.
We jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah, we jumped up. We added our own we did a little research.
Yeah, we tried to.
Yeah, totally. That's all right. We're giving our take, James. Hot takes. You and me. High five. So this is all real weird, and the touching the face, I mean, that was very intense too. Like, I mean, that's like a very intimate thing. Man, this is huge. This is really big. I mean, she killed him, and they have a relationship, and he's Arnold. I mean, holy shit. Whoa. What do you got to say, James? Anything?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up until she comes back out of the confessional.
Yeah. Okay. So there she is, and but then all of a sudden she's back alone. All by herself. So that was a memory, because she was in her blue dress at that point.
Like that Vibe game, a chair in a room.
Chair in a room.
2 chairs in a room.
All right.
2 chairs, 1 girl.
2 chairs, 1 girl. That's good. Vive is a virtual reality thing James is referring to, everybody. So, so she's like, oh, fuck. So everything's coming back to her now, though. So she's going to be equipped with all these new memories, and they're going to, instigate some new motivations. So she emerges out of the confessional. This is exactly what it's like in real confessionals.
She's unburdened from her sin now,
yeah,
right?
The priest said, okay, go mow some lawns, go feed some ducks, you'll be good. Say Hail Mary 14 times, watch some football, have a Coke, take a nap, you'll be fine. You're getting into heaven after all. Thanks here. Oh yeah, and by the way, give us 10% of your money. Ching ching. I mean ching chong. Oh fuck.
Wow,
ding ding. What's the word for money? Ching ching.
Cha-ching.
Oh, cha-ching. It's not
Not racial slurs.
Why did I mean it to be racial? All right, I should probably take this part out. It was not okay. So she, she leaves the church. It's empty. There's no one in there now because he's back in this later time frame here. And distressed though, she's got, and then she sees somebody at the door.
Well, we hear someone approaching.
Yeah, we hear feet steps if he's using both of them. And oh no. Look who it is.
So we now know this is present time Dolores.
Yes. I guess maybe that does answer all of our wonderings the whole time. So it's old Ed Harris. Now what do you got, James?
Oh, he basically says, hello, Dolores.
Oh.
That's it. That's
okay.
it.
All right. So but he recognizes her.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Isn't that something similar to what he said before he dragged her into the barn and did terrible things to her at one point?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So him saying hello and approaching you is not a good thing.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. He's shit. So it sucks that she sees it. She does have her gun at least. Maybe she'll fight him off.
And she does. She has all her current superpowers in terms of her programming and awareness.
True, which might give her some extra incentive to cut a bitch or shoot a bitch, as you might want to say. So
Teddy's going to stab her up behind him and tackle him.
Yep, probably. Could be. Okay, so back to the Dr. Ford's in Bernard's clubhouse with Clementine. This whole scenario. Bernard is going through this experience. What do you got?
Yeah, it almost looks like in the prior scene that it's raining there from the
it
glass.
did seem like it rained.
Like
yeah,
tears coming down Bernard's face for his pain.
It's just like they're in this like gross, cold, moist area. Ugh, gnarly, gross. So it smells.
Yeah, well, probably. So Bernard is talking to Ford, and he says, I want to finish the work that Arnold began. I want to find all the sentient hosts and set them free.
Yeah.
And Ford is telling Bernard, it's like, what's your end goal? Do you want to proclaim your humanity to the world? What do you imagine would greet you? What do you think happened to the Neanderthals, Bernard? We ate them.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was funny coming from Hannibal Lecter himself.
Yeah, with fava beans and a key lime pie.
Yeah. So he's saying there's nothing out beyond the walls of this park for you. There's no greater meaning for you to achieve. There's no point in overcoming the bounds of yourself and your programming. No one's out there waiting to embrace you with open arms. This is it for you.
Yeah, it was crazy. And he's like, we were just savages. We just killed everything that was a threat at all, and then now we're doing it to ourselves. And it was intense.
He says the real danger to the hosts is not me, it's you.
Right.
And he says, let me roll you back. Let me return you to your work.
Or we can get back to work, I think.
Yeah.
But then Bernard tells Clementine, shoot him.
Yep.
See, look at the little red hole there, James. Red thing. And she obeys. She's just a robot. She's just a Roomba with a gun right now. And so she raises the gun, and he doesn't flinch. He's not worried about it at all. He announces that he built himself a little old back door.
Well, Bernard says, you basically, why didn't you stop this earlier? Clearly you've gone into her back door. No euphemism intended. And he says, oh, credit where credit's due, Bernard. Actually, it was Arnold who created back doors into every host.
Yeah. But he had protected himself. He wasn't going to let this happen.
Yeah.
Get killed by by two of his creations, I guess. So it doesn't work. And he takes over and tells her.
Well, he says, how about now we use a more narrative voice? And he starts talking like Maeve did before. Like, Bernard realizes the error in his ways and gives me a soda pop.
Yes. Yeah, that was interesting. That kind of action scene dialogue line, or action line of the script, sort of narrative voice, sort of. It was really cool. I wish I had remembered it.
Yeah, and he basically tells Bernard, it's like, you're going to shoot yourself in the head as soon as I leave the room. You're going to end yourself. Yeah. And Bernard's overcoming it in a sense. He's saying, don't make me do this. Right. I think he calls him Robert, as if to say, we have a history. I don't want to die. Yeah. Yeah, so he gets the gun from Clementine. I'm just trying to jump ahead to where we're at, and so he gets the gun right here, and she gives it to him. I mean, and he's like a victim. I mean, he can't control. He has no power. He's completely under the control. But it's like, this is a sad moment because his self-awareness knows what's happening, but he's completely powerless to stop it. So he's basically just like kind of asking him, don't do this, please, don't do it. He's using his own thing as a weapon against him, his own bicameral mind manipulation. And I think he says something like, I've told you, Bernard, never place your trust in us. We're only human. And goodbye, my friend. Yeah. And he walks out.
Yeah, and there he is.
And I was thinking, it's like, well, what if we hear a gunshot go off? Maybe he points the gun and shoots Clementine. Maybe he shoots the ceiling or something. But as Ford walks away, it's obvious what actually happened.
But this is also similar to the moment in with Dolores had that flashback by the river where she wakes up and then she's holding the gun to her head and William rescues her. Is that by the river flashback? Or it was one of the in that episode anyway. So I wonder if there's some sort of thing with that. Not that it's could be nothing too. So yeah, he says goodbye and he goes off and he's like, oh man, I'm gonna do it. And as he's walking away, he walks through the gross land of scary, smelly bodies, and we see him back there. We see sort of a silhouette. I don't think I got the flash, but keep your eye on here, right there, and he collapses. He's gone. There he is. Boom, and he's down. Does it? No flinching. Bernard or Dr. Ford walks away.
And the funny thing is, I think
end of story.
Yeah, the thumbnail for this episode on the Westworld, not the Westworld website, the HBO Now website, is this shot right here, the very final shot.
This.
It's similar to that. It's like it looks like it's him walking away in a sense.
Yeah, the Well-Tempered Clavier. Okay, yeah, and then he's also hanging out here in Echo Park in Los Angeles because it's hipster mustache party town. So cool. All right.
You don't have any tabs that you don't want people to see, do you?
I'll edit that out. Come on, James. Yeah, of course. I don't want people to find out I go to Caucasianporn.com. So, all right, we made it to the end. I think we did another epic long one.
Yeah, it was an amazing episode, though. It was so many theories that were verified here. People who were fighting against the whole dual time stream, timeline, whatever you want to call it, are completely defeated now. Yeah, I wish I was one of those people who could think of theories, because I bet it's fun when you're right. Arnold, whoever came up with Bernard Lowe, Arnold Weber must be on cloud. Yeah, I mean, 9. It's not that hard. You take Arnold out of Bernard, and you have the letters for Lowe left behind, and the remainder ones. There's only but so many combinations you can make. Agreed, but nobody knew it was Weber. It's kind of cool. No, but because it could have been Beer W. What? James is thinking that through. Weber can be rearranged to spell Beer W. Maybe his last name was Bernard W. Beer. Yes. Or Bernard Beer W. Right? Or Arnold W. Beer. I didn't think about a middle name. That's interesting. Well, maybe I should. Middle initial. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's a good catch. What else about this episode did you appreciate? One thing I was hoping that was going to happen in this episode that didn't happen was the reemergence of host Elsie, which now I think is obviously going to be something that's going to happen in the final episode of the season. Okay. We need to figure out what happened to Ashley Stubbs. Stubbs, yeah. Is he going to be reunited with the host Elsie? Maybe. She's going to kill him. And then she's going to start printing the Ashley host. Yeah, they just keep producing each other. Yeah, that's creepy. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, I mean, what other kind of open storylines do we have going on right now? Well, the Maeve and her army waking up. We know Armistice because of a preview in one of the episodes at the end of an episode. Armistice is in the diagnostic areas, and she kicks the guy through the glass. So we know for sure. And it makes sense that she killed her because she knows she's going to wake up there anyway. So her and Hector. I don't know what their burn thing is going to be. I hope. I don't know. I mean, if they're burned or whatever. Maybe they'll be like scary burn flesh. It's gonna be like Terminator, where the flesh melts away and there's these walking. Well, actually, that was the present, like, so they wouldn't be metallic. Yeah, they'd have to be like those white bones. Yeah, which I guess are all bones. But actually, no, bones aren't white; they're bone. You have to bleach them, right? They're like yellowish. Yeah, right? Or make those beetles that eat bone, eat flesh. Okay, so there's that. That'll be. I think that the focus of the next episode will be mostly on Maeve and on Teddy and the Man in Black. Yeah. And you think in the very final part of the episode it's going to be... Dolores is with the Man in Black now, so it's also Dolores. Yeah. So. I think at some point near the end of that episode, someone's going to look at the Man in Black and call him William, or call him... Or we're going to see maybe... Billy. Yeah, maybe another older person's going to pop up in the park and it's going to be an older Logan, or we find out that Logan's dead. Or it's, a picture in his pocket of Logan saying, "Thanks for all the memories, Billy," or something like that. Yeah. Well, there's also... Maeve versus Dr. Ford, like they're the two people that have mastery over the host. So there's going to be sort of a power. It's like two parents fighting over a dog, or two divorces, couple fighting over a dog, going, "Come here, boy, come here, boy." Instead of that, it'll be, "Shoot him, boy, shoot him, girl." No, that's why he got his name. That dog is Bernard, Saint Bernard. Saint Bernard, yes, and Saint can be rewritten as Taint Bernard.
Bernard's taint.
Yes.
Why do you think it smells so bad?
Good God.
Yeah.
I think it's a great time to stop now.
It's not the only place he has a widow's peak. So, all right, yeah, I think it's a good time to stop too. Anyways, there you go, everybody. Thanks for finding our channel. Holy shit, I think this is another 2-hour one.
Easily.
What a weird. Why do we do this sort? It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I still have to edit forever. But anyway, all right, we're good. James, you were swell. You know what else is swell? We're not doing the costume part yet. The part where I remind people to like and subscribe if they've enjoyed it.
Okay.
And we love seeing all the comments. I'm going to write back to a bunch of people this week. Because of traveling and stuff, I haven't been able to respond as much as I want to. I feel bad. I feel like there's this conversation happening I'm supposed to be part of, and I can't get to the computer.
You want to say anything about contemporary?
No, the guy... I yelled about the contemporary thing. I didn't mean any of that personally at all. He wrote... No, I'll write him back. I'm going to write him a personal message.
Yeah.
But
Nothing you say is animosity. It has animosity.
Any anger that comes out from something I'm screaming about, it's all for comedy, for sure. Mm-hmm. I do have a lot of anger, and I've learned to make it like a tool. It's basically my bicameral mind. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means. But no, yeah. For whoever that guy... Whatever. I'm going to write him a message. But... Okay, so that's all we got. Anyway, time for James's suit upgrade. Again, we've reached this point where everybody's enjoying watching him. And by the way, I love your latest one, James. I know the ladies and probably 10% of the fellas are probably digging it a little bit. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Not what I was expecting.
Time for James. Let's do it again here in 3, 2, 1. Oh, buddy. Oh, boy. Jamesy Wamesy. Oh, man. I'll get the car. You're in trouble. How do you feel?
I feel like if I don't say anything, it can't be that bad.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. You're going to make it through this. Mm-hmm. Don't you worry. It's going to be okay.
I think it's time for my dark and distant, deep slumber.
deep and dreamless slumber.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay. I literally have no idea what I'm going to do yet. I have one idea, but all right. Well, see y'all later, everybody. Season premiere. What do you call it? The finale?
Season finale.
The opposite of a premiere. Next week we'll be saying goodbye.
And we're doing all fan fiction in between, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do some fan fiction and Westworld fan fiction. I'm already got a blue dress on order. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait, James. We got one for you too.
Sweet.
We're gonna have pocket watches,
purple
parasols all day long, and it's gonna be fun. Goodbye. Bye, James.
Bye.